So let's let this live catch up. See a couple of people come on, so it must be working. Hopefully you can hear me all good. Evening all, Lee Ashby here, Motocross and Spear Memories. Got a very cool one this evening with the dogger, the machine, Ron Lechien. So really buzzing for this. Here they are. Yeah, mate, how's it going? Here we go again, Martin. 2 nights on the trot, eh? We're on a roll. How's it going? Right, so I'm going to get this email off to Ronnie. Martin Neary, my man, the man of all collections with the memorabilia. Just want to say as well, big thanks to my man Leo in here at Owen Developments. Always look the wrong side, you can see a t-shirt behind as well. Helps me out, so much appreciated to him. Not sure who that is, but any of you guys that are coming through on Facebook, if you can just click the link in the post before you come into the video, you can just come out of this video, click on the link. It just basically gives takes away the privacy bit, so I can see your name, like my man here. Come on, Big Ronnie. Big Ronnie, lizard lick towing. Hello. Yes, hopefully David, should be a good one, buddy. Right, let's get the email sent over to my man. Let's get it sent. So it's away. The email is gone. So yeah, it's nice that we got an extra half an hour with Ronnie. I know he's got to be somewhere his end 12 p.m. midday, because they are 8 hours behind California. So instead of doing 7 till 8, I had 6:30 till 8. So puts a little bit less pressure on it to bang the questions in. Hi, Gary. If you want to get your name to come up, all you got to do is click on come out of this video, just click on the link on the post before you come in the video, and it should give yourself permission so you can see your name like that. Hi, Lee. How's it going? Yes, I know. Thanks, Betty. Literally chased Ronnie for a couple of years, pretty much the same as Talon Voland, and to get both on the 2 nights, it's pretty mad, isn't it, after chasing him for a couple of years? But yeah, you got to put the work in. Not sure who that is, but hopefully you can come out of this video, click on the link in the post, and get your name registered. It's just a privacy thing, basically, and you have to do it every time. It's a bit annoying, but it's nice to be able to see who I'm talking to, so I can quote you guys on the screen and that with your questions. Not sure who that is, but yo, all you got to do is just come out of this video quick, go on the link in the post, click on that, and then I'll be able to see who I'm talking to. Or failing that, if it doesn't work, just put your full name at the end of each comment, and then I'll know who I'm talking to. Hello, not sure who that is. I just sort of said to you guys. Anyone that comes in, there's greetings from Panama as well. There's my friend, I think his name's Oriel. Not sure who that is either, but any of you guys coming through on Facebook, just click on the link on the post before you come into this video. You can just come out of here, register your name, and then I'll be able to see you like Dave there. Look, hi Lee, any more USA greats coming up? Yes, been chasing Jeff Emig for quite a while, trying to nail down a date on Jeff Emig. Hello, Eddie, how's it going? Still aching from Cullum. Yeah, I think a few were already, and worse. Had to check up on a few of the guys that were injured. Not sure who that is, but hopefully we'll get him on soon. There you go. My missus has also put, thanks Lainey, she's just put that. Not sure if she's on my Facebook, my page or my group, but she's put that in there. Look, if you click on that link in the comments, then you'll be able to get your, oh, I can just see my man's come in. I can just see he's come in. We'll hear you as soon as I bring you in, Ronnie. So the man's there, so we'll give it the little countdown, and then we'll hopefully it'll all be good. But I can see he's come in the bottom of my screen, so we've got to bring him in. Let's get going then, people. Like I said, you guys, click on that link, and then you can register your name. She's done it again there, look, so I can see who I'm talking to. Otherwise, it'll just come up as Facebook user on the screen, and I won't be able to quote you to Ronnie. So just come out of this video, click on the link, and it just basically gives it privacy permissions. Right, then here we go. This is the moment of truth, Ronnie, when we test it. Ronnie,
Glad to be on board.
can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Beautiful. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you nice and clearly. It's beautiful.
Awesome.
Absolutely buzzing to get you on, mate. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you, Lee. I'm glad to finally take part in this, and it's the first time for me, so I'm a little novice at this.
That's cool, mate. I'm sorry for chasing you all that time, but I can't give up on these legends, you know?
Yeah, no, hey, you put your work in. You got me.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Everyone's been buzzing to get us on. This will go out everywhere afterwards as well. There's some guys come on live, which is great, but we get it all out there afterwards, which is amazing. So we can keep it all recorded for life. So it's all good. So how are you in general then, Ronnie? What have you been up to since the racing days then?
Well, I've been spending most of my time here at Maxima for the last 22 years. You know, I had to get my life together and join the workforce, and so in 1999 October, I started working here at Maxima, and that was my first real job. And started out in the warehouse and just worked my way up from the bottom. I think about 2006, I came in the office and started doing rider support and doing stuff, you know, here in the office, and I'm still like a hybrid. I still do stuff out in the warehouse. I like to still be part of the warehouse, see what's going on, but also do stuff here, like I said, with the rider support and contracts and stuff like that, which it's fun to me to work with the riders and still follow what's going on with, you know, obviously all the racing and you know, just all the parts of the company and the racing.
I got loads of the guys all coming on, putting, oh my God, Ronnie Lechien, absolute legend. They're absolutely loving it.
Cool.
Give them it's all good. Got another Speedway rider from the UK, Lawrence Hare's just put top interview. What a legend. Yeah, it certainly is.
Cool.
My mate Kevin Wheeler's just put, has he got a trophy room we can look at?
There it is behind me. That's
we can see it.
Some of it right there. We got one here, one there. They're all over the place.
Is that a helmet it looks like from the Yamaha days? Is that right, Ronnie?
Yeah, that's one of my old helmets from when I was racing amateur for Yamaha, probably in '77.
Wow.
So I'll take a little spin around. Let's see. I got some other stuff, trophies over there. Those are some other trophies and all kinds of stuff.
Love it. Love that. So much cool stuff in there. 100%. Stefan's put Mr. JT, what a hero. 100%. I got some cool pictures of some stuff to put up on the old screen here with all the sort of advertising days and everything, which we'll get into as well. So what year exactly did you retire from the racing then, Ronnie? And what was the actual reason at that time when you did retire, when you decided to retire?
Well, I broke my femur in '89 in Pennsylvania at Steel City, and that was kind of the last year that I was riding for Factory Cowie. They gave me the opportunity to come back and race, I believe, in 1990, the 500 outdoor championship over here in the U.S., and I really wasn't ready yet, and I wasn't ready. My leg wasn't where I needed to be, and my mind wasn't where I needed to be, and I ended up passing up on that, and that was kind of my last opportunity to race for the factory. And then I think it was in '91 I came back with Team Tough, and I rode the 500 outdoors and a few selected Supercrosses. I think I might have dislocated my thumb at Anaheim, maybe '91. So I still had a couple injuries and was just kind of trying to come back and race some selected races. I did do the outdoor '91, and then I started kind of racing a lot of European stuff. I started doing the German Supercross series, you know, obviously Paris, Geneva. I started going to Japan. I think probably my last big Supercross win was Osaka in '94, I think it was. That was probably my last big Supercross win, but I did have a few other wins in Japan, and I think it was called Fukuoka. That was another big Japanese win for me, and just selected events. And I ended up meeting a girl that lived in Cologne, Germany, and I believe '95, and we dated for a couple of years, and I was flying back and forth and racing all over Europe and having a really good time and just still having fun with it. And then about 98 was when, you know, the racing thing kind of ended for me. And like I said, I had to get my life straightened out and do some things. And then once I started here at Maxima in 99, been working here ever since.
Awesome. That is awesome. I just got Dave King's come on. I'm glad he's put his name at the bottom because it's not registered, so that's good. He's just put, "Hi, Ronnie. Remember Foxhill?" I hope you do.
Oh yeah,
you can't forget that. It was a bit cold the last time you were there. The Vets Motocross Donations has moved to Foxhill now from Farley. You are always welcome, mate. You're always welcome. You did me proud by coming over in 2012. We'll always be thankful to you for that, Dave King.
Yeah, awesome. Good to hear from Dave. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Fox Hills, and then I believe, what was the name of the other track that I was thinking of it last night when I was sleeping? There was a couple tracks that I rode, Fox Hill and I don't know. I can't remember what the name of it. I'll remember it, but yeah, there's some good tracks over there. Always rained on me though. You know, it was always a wet one in England.
Yeah. I'm afraid so. That Foxhill's my hometown as well. So I watched a lot of the GPs in the 90s and I think it was 98 Motocross the Nation. So got to saw a lot of the guys. Obviously, when you come over and rode it, what did you actually think of it? Because it's like a very sort of Frenchy track and hard and big hills and everything. What did you think about it?
I thought it was awesome, but like I said, it was wet. It rained, and it was really tricky getting up those shale hills and the sides.
Yeah.
You know, it was really tricky. I do remember. I think it was like an international event or something. I think Stefan Everts was there racing for. He was on Cowie at the time, and he was going really fast. And yeah, like I said, it was really tricky mud, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Just got Ben Rumbled here from Motocross Words on Facebook. He's just put, "Whoa, same day as when George Holland finished his career through injury. Steel City '89 cost us 2 legends."
Yeah, that was a tough one for me. That wasn't.
Yeah.
It was rough. You know, there was I broke my femur and I was laying in the middle of the track and I really didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew I couldn't move. And there happened to be a guy standing on the side of the track and he ran over and grabbed my arm and started dragging me off the track. And I had a big scrape on the back of my shoulder from where he drugged me. And then he ran around and I was already yelling at him to leave me alone and don't touch me. But there were guys coming over the jump and I was in a blind spot. And, man, he ran around, he grabbed my legs and he pitched my legs off the track. And it just, my femur was not good.
Jesus Christ. Terrible. Got Adam Winslet here. He's put, "Great to meet you, Ron. It was great to meet Ron, Wardy and Hughes at Farley, Vets MXdN in 2012. He said you had a bit of an off there, did you, that day at Farley? Was that right?
Yeah, that was another one, man. I was all caught up in that race. I thought we was big Team USA, and I know that Wardy. I'd had some troubles with my shifter in practice. You know, they have those posts that they keep line the track, and I'd ran off the track in the mud and bent the shift lever, and they put a different shifter on the bike for the race. And when we got ready to go to staging, I think Wardy was having trouble with his throttle. So I didn't think he was going to make it, and we took off the gate, and I was kind of right in the middle of the pack. And when I went to shift the big 500, it just those shifters spun on the splines and stuck up, and I think I was stuck in second gear, and I got about a half lap through the first lap, and I seen Rhino laying on the ground. I passed him, and I'm thinking I got to stay out here try to get a finish for the team. And man, I just kept whining that thing. And just about the time I went, I wonder how long this bike will last if I keep revving the shit out of it. And man, the rod snapped coming out of the back. And yeah, it was that section where the track splits and there's a big tree right there. And thank God I didn't hit that tree. When I looked back at it, I went, man, I was really lucky to not hit that tree.
Oh, nightmare. Typical, it's wet. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Plenty of them ones, but
it was a lot of fun though. I had a great weekend, and I sat around and I watched Rhino the rest of the weekend, and he was just an animal. And it was a little more than I probably bit off a little more than I could chew. They were going really fast. That track's rough. You know, it's 4 motos. You know, I don't know what would have happened if I wouldn't have crashed them, but I probably might have crashed harder later. You never know.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of bikes when it does get rough. But an old school track for sure. I'm going to quote some of these fans that are all commenting. Loads of comments coming in. Got Hub Gerlins from Holland. He's put one of the greatest talents from the USA that I have enjoyed here with the Stadium Cross, a legend.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. Got Martin Neary. He's a massive collector of memorabilia in the UK. He's the guy that's going to hook you up with them DVDs I mentioned to you on the email. So
yeah, awesome. Good to meet him.
Yeah, he's just put
the Nation was one of the best races of my life there for the the team, you know, in France. That was a great day. A lot of people have a lot of good memories from that, and you know, we had a lot of fun, and yeah, that was a really awesome race.
Obviously, a lot of people talk about the nation's victories and that. I think I've got a couple of pictures from that as well. Beautiful.
Yeah, after the race, I think that was maybe one of the biggest traffic jams I've ever seen in my life. All those people trying to get out of that track on the way out of there.
Does that mean a lot to you, Ronnie? Obviously, winning the Motocross Nations twice, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, I went. The first year I went was in '85 in Geldorf, in Germany.
There you go. You and Thorpe.
I think I actually qualified first. That might be in qualifying right there. And I remember I was running around with Thorpe there, and I think I qualified on the 125 first overall. And that year they were running, I think, all 3 classes together. And I started in the second row between Thorpe and Bailey, and Thorpe jumped out of the gate and cut over and about blew me off the back of my bike. Yeah, right there. That was probably the first moto right there where I started in between Thorpe and David. And man, he roosted me so bad coming down the start straight. And then I think somebody fell and I ran into him in the first turn, and I think I started the race like 61st, and I worked my way up to, I believe, 11th or something. Yeah, and then I think I might have went 5-4 in the other 2 motos and won my class. I think Strybos and Pekka Beckinen were also in there and running with me. But yeah, to win my class and to win the overall for the US was awesome. And one thing I always remember is in the beer tent afterward. You know, I was 18 years old and I was looking around, and I never seen so many mugs of beer in my whole life, man. I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Even got greetings from Panama here as well, coming from all over on here tonight.
What's happening in Panama?
Awesome. Man, I got a guy here on YouTube's put, where can I find the Jeff Ward's Winning Ways, Ron? I used to love that VHS as a kid.
I have no idea.
Maybe
it's
got to be out there. Yeah, it's got to be out there somewhere. It's got to be out there. Right, let's take it back a bit. How did you get into motocross, and how young were you when you got your first bike? What sort of bike did you get, Ronnie? And
well, I started racing when I was 8. My dad owned a Honda dealership here in Lemon Grove, Honda Lemon Grove, and I think he brought home like a QA50 for me and my sister to kind of share. And you know, we were riding that a little bit. I kept taking it away from her. She wasn't getting much time on it. And then and then I think, you know, my dad brought in a MR50, and there was a local motocross track that they raced every other weekend, and it was a mini cycle track. You know, they only rode 125 and smaller bikes, and you had to be 18 or younger to race there. So my dad asked me, hey, you want to go and check out these races up here at Verona? And I said, sure, yeah, let's go watch. And we went up and watched and stuff, and it was pretty cool. And then 2 weeks later, when it came time for the races to go, my dad asked me, hey, you want to go up and race? You know, and I go, oh, let's go watch again. And he goes, nah, he goes, we're either racing or we ain't going. And I said, all right, well, let's race. And the rest is history. So.
How old were you, Ronnie, when you sort of got to that age where you thought, you know, this can be a career for me? How old were you sort of when this was going really well and you thought I could be a pro sort of thing?
Probably around 13, 14.
Okay.
You know, I won the Mammoth 125 pro class when I was 14. And I mean, I always, you know, obviously I always, you know, wanted to be a pro motocrosser. But before, you know, when I really realized that, you know, this could happen, I was probably about 14 years old. And, you know, I was hanging with guys and racing against guys like Magoo and Johnny O'Mara and, you know, these guys at the Golden State Series when I was pretty young, and I was hanging with them or beating them. And, you know, and we just, everything just kind of worked out. You know, the timing worked really well. And, you know, you see the guys laying back a little bit these days, not quite going into the, you know, they're 18, 19 before they even turn pro. And, you know, we went in pretty early. We didn't even ride the first couple Supercrosses because they didn't have the lights class for me. So I think we started in Atlanta the first year in 83. So I missed Anaheim, I think Seattle, and another round. And we went in, and, you know, it's a lot of timing. You know, everything's got to line up right. You know, hopefully you don't get hurt. I mean, if I would have got hurt or something would have happened, everything could have been different. It's just, you know, it's a little bit of luck and a little bit of timing. And, but yeah, it all worked out. You know, it was a learning experience, and to get those wins that first year really kind of catapulted my career and gave me the confidence that I could beat these guys on their stage. And yeah, it was a good deal.
Nice. I got a comment here from Franco here. He's put, "It was great to be by your side." I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one. In Italy a few years ago. Transpagaro. Okay. There you go. You got that down. But it lasted a few milliseconds. See you in September. Ciao, Ronnie.
Nice to see you, Franco.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun race too. I had a lot of fun. That was probably maybe 6 years ago, a race in Italy that I was invited to. It was kind of an eras race, like an 80s era, 90s era. And
great track.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Very. I got Ben Rambold. He's put, "Ron, I have to ask. There is a legend of the 88 Nations that you disappeared the night before. I did see something about this with DaCosta because I did an interview with him and I think I brought it up. Roger DaCosta and the management freak out why you might not make the race. Can you tell us a bit more about that?"
Yeah, I did. Well, there was a girl that I happened to meet that was walking through the pits the day before the race, a girl that I knew from over here. And she actually lived in Rancho Cucamonga up in LA. And I would see her at some of the Supercross and everything, but I never went out with her or anything. And her and a couple of her friends had just happened to take a European vacation, and then they went to the Nations as part of it. And I had bumped into her at the track the day before the race, and so we ended up hooking up that night. And I took off to go date her that night, and everybody was I think they were having the team dinner and the team meeting, and I was like, I'm out of here. And I went out and took her up in the hills of France, and did some making out and messing around, and then got back to the hotel in time to make it for the race.
Oh, you're the man. Too good and too easy. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I got Leo in my man here, who's he helps me with own development. You can see it in the background. He's just put, I remember the Donations in France 88. Ron was in a class of his own, awesome talent. A lot of the people, Ronnie, say that you're, if not one of the most talented riders of all time. What does that still feel cool all these years later that people say that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I worked at it really hard. You know, a lot of people, you know, the rumors or the truths are that, you know, I didn't train very hard and this and that. But when I was young, I rode a lot. I rode every day. And, you know, I honed my skills a lot of times by myself, you know, just out in the hills every day. When I get home from school, I'd go ride. You know, I put all the work in the beginning before I turned pro. And, you know, I also, you know, watched guys like Bailey and Glover and, you know, Hannah and those guys. And I just tried to emulate what they were doing. And I think even the training thing might have helped me because I learned how to ride smooth. So I wasn't wasting a lot of energy and, you know, and make it to the finish. So, yeah, I'm really, you know, proud of that. And, you know, it's humbling.
You were super smooth as fast, for sure. It was great to watch you. Martin's just put, I did have a question down there about GPs in Europe. Ron, did you ever regret not doing a full season in Europe in the GPs, especially the 500cc class? Did you ever consider wanting to do a full season in Europe at all in the GPs, Ronnie?
Yeah, I did. I think it was 94 that I actually did have plans to come and ride the 500 GPs. That might have been the year, maybe that Schmetz won. I started, it was in Payerne, Switzerland was the first round. And I do remember the night before the race, you know, I was staying at my mechanic's chalet there outside of in Switzerland, and it was a beautiful rolling hills with grass, and we went to bed, and in the morning I woke up and there was a layer of snow blanketing the whole place. And I asked my mechanic, I said, hey, did they race in the snow? And he goes, well, it has to be a certain, you know, it has to be certain depth or, you know, deep of inches of snow. And so we went to the track, and I crawled up in the motorhome and was all bundled up, and all of a sudden I heard out on the track, and I went, oh man, they're racing. Yeah, that was a mess too. But yeah, I think I ended up 11th. I was hoping to get top 10. I think I ended up 11th. Like I said, it was a big mud race, and it was a struggle. And we were planning on doing the whole series, but I was paying my own way back and forth. It was just a tough deal, and I never made it back to the second round. And you know, I was still having some problems with, you know, the drugs and stuff here in you know, in the States, and getting back and forth. And I'd get back over here, and then I'd be partying, and I'd be like, man, I don't, you know, I can't make it over there. And just there was a lot of stuff going on at that time for me, and you know, I kind of regret it a little bit, but also, you know, you just never know. You look back, I mean, those bikes were really powerful, and a lot of different tracks and really high speed, and you know, who knows, you know, you could have gotten hurt, or you know, just, I mean, things happen for a reason, and I'm glad I'm still here and able to golf and fish and still ride myself, you know. So
enjoy a few things, yeah. Like that. I don't know if one of the other tracks was. Someone's just asked this. I'm not sure who asked it, but was Hawkstone? Was that the other track that you raced in the UK?
Yeah, that
big
was the other
sandy
track. Yeah, that was the other track I was thinking of. I did do at least one race in the Hawkstone Park. I think it was an international race as well.
Yeah, quite heavy sand there back then. I would say it was still quite heavy then. It's a little bit harder now going, but did they run the big hill?
There was a track that was down in a pit, and it had a finish jump that came out of this pit, and maybe that was in France. Maybe that was in France. That wasn't in England. But yeah, I did ride Hawkstone.
Scott's just put you and me go with definitely the rock stars of motocross.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, this is a hard question here, Ronnie. Honda or Kawasaki? From Hub Girlings, which was the best for you, Ron?
I believe the Hondas. I mean, the Hondas were obviously great bikes, and be able to ride those works bikes, and you know, the 125 that I rode in the 125 Nationals in '85 was one of the funnest bikes I ever rode. And then I also did the USGP on the 500 at Carlsbad that year, and I mean, that 500 was just incredible. I mean, it was one of the fastest bikes I've ever rode, and I mean, to be able to handle that thing, man, it was tricky.
Just got Jeff Perrett's come on as well. I know he come over not long ago. He's put, evening guys, had a privilege of catching up with Ron earlier this year and did a fly on the wall video. I know there's some stories that you just can't be told on air. Living legend.
Right on. Good to hear from Jeff.
Yeah, I did see that as well. That was cool little. That's when I got a little bit of better look in your office there, Ron, with all the bits and bobs. That was cool.
That long ago, just a month or two ago.
Yeah, I remember it. It was good. That was good work there, Jeff. That was cool. Someone there, not no name on it, but they put, what was it like riding Bercy? We all like that over in Europe as well. Always seemed like you guys bonded while abroad. Did the rivalry ease while in Europe amongst your fellow countrymen? And actually, he's put his name on it, Simon Woods.
Yeah, I always enjoyed Bercy. You know, we actually just went back over when the JT brand relaunched. I don't know, it's probably been 7 or 8 years ago, but to be brought back and actually spend some time in Bercy again. And I ended up winning, I think, one night in '88. I didn't get to go in '89 because I broke my femur, but you know, they always had those really big cups for the winter, and I always wanted one of those, and it was cool to get one, and super tight, and you know, for my style of aggressive riding and stuff, it worked out pretty well. I know the one year in '86, I think the first year I went, Ricky landed on me on a double and knocked me out, and I ended up waking up in the hospital and stuff. So '86 was a little rough, but I always had fun at that race. It was always a cool show in the beginning times of you know, how they do Supercross now. Obviously, they started something that, you know, is living on these days with all the pyro tech and all the lasers and all that stuff. And I mean, it was
Super
always
cool.
a really cool show.
Yeah, very cool. I've got Andy Kirkman here. He's put, you've been very open with your career. Do you have any regrets in your career at all?
You know, like I said before, I mean, I'm happy with what I've done. I mean, I feel like I've done more than, you know, most. I probably could have done a lot better. You know, if I would have, you know, focused a little more and actually just, you know, but I did it the way I wanted to do it. I mean, you know, growing up, I would live, you know, was pretty strict with me and my dad. And you know, there was a lot of times where I didn't really want to race, but, you know, Dad was pushing me so hard that I felt like I couldn't tell him no, or I was afraid to tell him no, that I didn't want to race. And, you know, but I look back and obviously everything I have is from what he did, but there's always a little bit of a rift there between, you know, and when I got old enough to do it on my own, you know, I was young and immature, 16 years old, and, you know, I had all the fame and the money, and, you know, and it was, I had a lot of fun, and I did it the way I wanted to do it. And I won some races, and, you know, I pretty much won all the races that I really wanted to. I got the championship. I got the San Diego Supercross. I got the Nations. I got the USGP win, which didn't turn out to be a Carlsbad, but I still got the win. So I'm happy, you know, and like I said, and I have a lot of friends that are, you know, in wheelchairs right now, and, you know, and so things can go bad, and you know, I just got to look at the big picture and be happy with how it is. If I'd have applied myself a little better, of course, you know, but at my time, the more I focused on it, the more I thought about it, and my defense strategy was to just act like it was no big deal instead of focusing on it and getting all wrapped up in everything. My thing was just to take it like, oh, it's just a Supercross, no big deal. And it took the pressure off of me, and it let me have a good time, and it let me race the way I wanted to, and it didn't get all up in my head, you know.
Yeah, a bit more of a free spirit in that way. Awesome career anyway. Scott Bowman's just put, will you ever race in the UK Veterans again? I know Dave King's been on here earlier, but I thought that might come up a few times.
Yeah, like I said, I think my racing days are over. I took a really big crash about 6 weeks ago again, and it's time to kind of back it off a little bit. And yeah, I don't ride enough and I really don't want to ride that much. I mean, you got to ride 2-3 times a week to kind of stay in shape and to be, you know, be in shape to race. And I just really don't want to ride that much. I don't have the burning desire to ride 2-3 times a week. I'd rather be out fishing or golfing or doing something fun. But I still love to ride, and I still have a good time with it. I just it just doesn't burn in me to ride that much and to travel all around and chase it around. You know, it always ends up being, like I said, biting off a little more than I can chew. And you know, my brain says I can do it, but then I get there and I'm not prepared, and it's scary. You know, it's kind of scary.
Looks like Dan's got a memory of the Farley as well. But hi, Ron and Lee. Does Ron remember me picking him and his bike up after he crashed at Farley in the woods? I pushed the bike back and he gave me some signed goggles. Top man, legend.
Nice. Yeah, I do remember the walk back. I remember the walk across the hotel room, and the next morning even more. I mean, I could barely move. I was so sore, and it's crazy that I didn't really even break anything, but I did dislocate my collarbone from the sternum, and yeah, just trying to get around there and all the bags and get back to the airport on Monday. And yeah, that was a big one, man. I was really lucky. And like I said, I was just really lucky, you know, a month ago when I went down. I hit my head really hard, and, you know, I was seeing spots and afterward, and I sent the helmet back to 6D, and they said it was, you know, as bad of an impact in one area as they've seen. So it's, yeah, it's kind of scary.
Definitely. Alec Young's just put, legend, great answer. Enjoy it when you was young. 100%. Lived and breathed it. It was awesome. Yeah. And Stefan's put here, Ron, did you have any involvement with the designs at JT? I remember the goggle channel on the ALS lids were game changers.
The goggle channel. I don't remember what that is, but a little bit. I mean, I would work with, I think some of my, my nickname and some of my other stuff. I'd work with Rita and John, and definitely in the early days at Honda. I mean, I just when I saw the Lawrence brothers at Paula with their gear and everything, and HRC down the legs, that was my idea at when I was racing for Honda in '85. I told Rita and stuff that I wanted the HRC down the legs, and I would do some of the design stuff, just give them, options or some, just some little tidbits to what I would like or what. And then, Rita designed the Dalmatian stuff. And then I don't know who did the dog bones or the bad bone stuff, but, most of the time it was Rita and John at JT doing the overall designs, but I had a little bit of input on some of the other stuff. And then
it's just put there, look, recess to stop the goggle slip.
Oh yeah, on the side of the helmet. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was maybe John or something like that. Those guys were really good at development and design and all that stuff. And I know they brought Mark and Ludo and those guys over from France, and those guys obviously with 100%, they're very talented guys.
Got a question here. There's no name on this one, but best European rider that you rode against?
Oh, man. Like I said, I really liked Dave Thorpe back in the day. A lot of people might not know, but I really looked up to him. I thought he had super cool style. I liked the axle gear. He was just a bad dude. And, I wouldn't let him know that when I was racing against him, but I really did. I had pictures of him on my wall, and I always thought he was a super cool dude. And he had a cool style, and all of his stuff looked bitchin'. And so, yeah, probably Dave Thorpe.
That's very cool. Very cool. I like that. Dave Thomas put, how did the nickname come about with Dogger?
Well, the first time I went to Bercy to race, and I found out that my name Lechien means the dog, and so that was kind of the beginning of it. There was also another company here in Arizona in the States that was making, T-shirts and just kind of surfwear stuff, and it was called Dogger Everywhere. And at that time there wasn't a lot of surf companies or other companies outside of motocross that were giving motocross guys product and stuff. And these guys started sponsoring me, and some of those stickers that I ran on my bike at the Donations in '88 were from that company. And then a little bit of the other stuff, obviously the dogging the tests and dogging the girls and dogging, this and dogging that. And just,
love it.
Just kind of, it kind of stuck with me,
Obviously, you had the machine as well, and I even saw some race pants earlier with I can't remember, was it? I'll check that out in a minute. There was another one as well I did see that I'll ask you about, but the machine obviously as well was another name. Yeah,
machine was in the beginning, kind of through maybe '84, '85, and then once the arrest in Japan and everything started coming out about the partying and all that stuff, the Dogger thing kind of took off. That, I think, like I said, that was in '86, I believe.
There we go. Good guys as well on the Yam days on the pants. A few of you.
Yeah, that was. I think that was something that maybe me and Brock and Ricky came up with, because it was kind of us against the Honda guys, and so we started being the good guys, and then the Honda guys started running bad guys, and stuff. That's at my local track right there at Barona Oaks. That was a day we just went out and did photo shoots.
Beautiful picture. What were the Yamaha days like? What was that them bikes like, Ron?
They were good. I mean, I really liked, obviously my bike that I rode in the outdoors in '83, the rotary valve 125 OW was a really cool special bike. That bike right there. Mm-hmm. It took us a little while. I think the first round at Hangtown we had a DNF in one of the motos, and it wasn't up to speed in the very beginning, but as the year went on, we started getting some parts from Europe and Japan, and I think we were getting cylinders from like Kenny Roberts' road race bike. They had four cylinders, and we started getting some cylinders from those guys. And about halfway through the year, we really started getting that bike running good. And I think I won the last 3 nationals of the year that year on the 125. And the Supercross bike was really good too, but that was the that was the last year of the works bikes, and that was one of the reasons that we were moving from, obviously the money and the Yamaha was going to go to the production bike, and we wanted to ride those Honda works bikes.
I'm going to bring up a few pictures of you when you were very young, but what riders did you look up to and idolize when you were young, Ronnie? And did you get to race against any of your heroes or idols at all?
Yeah, well, obviously Bob Hanna. I mean, I really Tony DiStefano was a guy that I thought was super cool. I looked up to Brock. Brock was local. Marty Smith, Marty Tripes. All those guys. All the San Diego guys. We all got along, and I looked up to those guys. These are all photos from my local track at Verona. I look a little big for the 80 there. That's probably 79 maybe. That's my dad.
Right.
Yeah, they would do a year-end banquet every year, and my dad was the president of the CMMC club that year and everything. So it was a really great place to grow up and race, and and just it had structure. Like I said, we raced every weekend, every other weekend, and then the weekends that we didn't race at Verona, we could go race at Carlsbad or Saddleback or somewhere else like that. So, there's really not that many local places around here to even ride or race like there was when we were growing up, and that's why everybody's moving back to Florida, because there's more places, open places to ride. And, obviously the weather's good like it is here in San Diego, but, and the humidity.
Someone's put, there's no name on this question, but they put, you said you loved the Honda days. Obviously you won on the 125. How special was your 85 CR125? It was a completely different bike to the stock that year. The pipe was even on the other side. How good was that bike?
Like I said, that was one of the coolest bikes I ever rode. I mean, it had the power, the suspension was awesome. It was just a really fun bike to ride, and it, and you got the starts, I mean, if you just had a little bit of a little more horsepower than the other guys, you get the start. And I'd probably ride, first 4 or 5 laps really hard, and then I would just manage the race. And I don't want to say it was easy, but it kind of was.
Yeah, got some nice pictures I've just been putting up there on the Honda.
Yeah,
Spur and bash in there.
Yeah, it looks like Vegas. I've never seen that picture. That looks like Vegas National. Look at that track. Boy, they'd throw a fit these days if you were racing on something like that.
Yeah, on that dust like that, you smashed the dust burn there.
Yeah, that's a cool win ad right there for sure. Yeah, that bike was really fun. I had a lot of fun days and winning. You know what I mean? We were winning every week, and super fun to ride.
Was that cool for you guys? Sorry, you carry on, Ronnie. Sorry.
I said the Supercross bike was really good that year too. We should have won Supercross. They've done some. I know that Mathis has done some interviews with Dave from Honda and those guys, and saying that bike wasn't that good, but I believe it was really good. We just, I was trying to smash him so bad that year that I crashed a few too many times, threw away a bunch of motos during Supercross, or we'd have won that title for sure.
Was it cool for you guys even when you were racing? Was it cool? Did you like to see like yourself in front of mags? Was that cool still?
Of course. Yeah, that was what it was all about, man. It was all about getting on the cover of Motocross Action or any of those magazines. I think that one you just showed right there, they did 2 months in a row. I had the full color cover. I think the month before that or the month after that was a shot from the LA Coliseum on the 250. And I think there's only 2 other guys that have ever had the full color cover 2 months in a row. I think it was Bradshaw might have got it. And I think that's it. That's the only buddy I know that's ever gotten 2 full MXA covers in a row.
That's awesome. I love that kit there as well.
That's LA that year. That's the first moto I wore pink. And then I think I won the second moto, which was on the cover.
I think I think I might even have that. Here we go.
Yeah, that's Daytona 88 with my buddy there, Jeff Glass, from the surf guy.
That looks cool as well. I love that. The open face, no.
Yeah, that was a
full mouth
color in it.
Very cool. Right, there's got loads of comments that I've gone by. Oh God. Right, he's for what's the trickiest part/product that you've ever used? Simon Woods has asked.
Like I said, those Hondas that year, I think they had like some kind of a power valve, electric power valve or something on the works 250 and 85. And, it had like a switch on the handlebar where you had to turn that on to turn the ignition on. I mean, at that time, that was pretty, one of the trickiest things. I mean, just the whole evolution of bikes through, going from drum brakes to disc brakes to power valves to links to, it just kept, I'm really, really happy that I got to go through all that transition and be part of racing while all that stuff was happening. It was all cutting edge. Some guys would like it, some guys wouldn't. I remember when disc brakes first came out, they were so touchy and so good that nobody really liked them because they weren't used to it. But all that stuff, upside down forks. I mean, when they first came out, everybody was kind of, I don't know if this is going to be the right thing, and then that stuff stuck. So.
Adam's put Unadilla looked a brilliant track back in the day. What do you think of it now as well? And what was your experience as Unadilla? As probably the most natural one over there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Unadilla was awesome for me. I mean, I definitely got the 250 US GP win there in '84. That was the first time I ever rode the track. It was really interesting back in the day that they would leave the track growing with grass. I mean, they wouldn't prep it or do anything to it. And I believe that was one of the only races they would race. Was the USGP, and when you would start in practice, the grass was, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet tall, and it covered the whole track. And by the end of the weekend, everybody just searching for lines and moving around, and then the whole track would be, exposed dirt. And I don't know. I like some of the way that the tracks used to be. I don't like how they disc them so deep nowadays, and I kind of like the old school stuff, but I know it was a lot more dusty and rocky and stuff like that. But Unadilla was cool. I always wanted to go there. I used to really like that picture of Bob Hanna coming out of Gravity Cavity with the 1-footer and I actually gone back a few times, and they have a vintage race called the MX Rewind, and I did that 2 or 3 times, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I rode like a Can-Am,
nice
250 Can-Am, and then I rode a KX500, and so it was kind of cool to go back and experience Unadilla again, just not too long ago.
Very, very cool. Cole Balfield here. He's my mate in the UK, Speedway and Motocross Rivalry was. Great interview, guys. What did Ronnie think about the abuse that Dave Thorpe actually received by being beat by the 125 at the 86 Nations? Because I'm sure Ronnie on the 125 beat Bailey's 500 at the German Nations.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't happy. Those those guys were pretty fast, and I don't know. I've seen some video of the race before. I'm not sure what happened to him during the race, if he got a bad start or what. But like I said, for me to beat him at qualifying in Geldorf was a big accomplishment for me. And like I said, those guys rode really good that day. And like I said, I don't know a lot about that race and how the start went, and if he got a bad start or how, if they had two rows. I think they were still racing all 3 classes at the same time then. I'm not positive, because they kept changing up the rules of the donation.
Did. Adam's got a good question here as well. Being a top rider, did you ever suffer mentally at all when you retired, and how did you feel the void of it, obviously, because it's a big thing, isn't it?
No, not really. I mean, when I was done, I was done. I mean, I've been racing and traveling. The traveling really starts to wear you down, and I was ready for some time off, and like I said, I was having a lot of fun partying and doing other stuff. So at the time, it was a good thing. It took a little while before I started to miss it and want to come back. And like I said, that's kind of when I came back and started doing the German Supercross series and racing international events where I could pick and choose what I wanted to do, have fun with it, still get to see the fans and race in front of the fans, and it wasn't such a grind, like a every week kind of grind with the hotel and the flights and all that stuff. I mean, it just got to a point where it just started wearing on me. It wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, I get you. I'm going to bring the pictures up now, those advertisements I was talking about earlier, but what Martin's wrote here, he put, Ron, how cool was it that JT Bones kit you wore in 87? Was JT your favourite clothing brand? Did Fox try and ever get you on board? The 80s MX clothing was just awesome.
Yeah, that stuff was cool. I remember the first night we had it out. There's a photo, I think, of me and Rick Johnson and maybe Ronnie Tishner from, I believe it was Orlando or one of the Florida rounds was the first round I wore it. And there's a picture of me standing there. I'm thinking, oh, this stuff's all cool. Yeah, there you go. Rick's like,
there we go. On cue, Ronnie, on cue.
Yeah, I don't think Rick was very happy with all the exposure I was getting from that stuff. And, yeah, it was funny, but yeah, I mean, JT was obviously always my favorite gear, and I was super proud to be part of that program. John and Rita were like my second mom and dad, and they always took great care of me, and I still talk to them all the time. And I think the Bad Bones stuff was, or the Dalmatian stuff was one of my favorite gears for sure. And yeah, I was stoked to be. They made really cool ads for me and everything. It was a great time, and I thought it was the coolest stuff. I'm pretty sure it was.
Very cool.
Going back to the Fox, I never really did anything with Fox, but I definitely I believe '86. Bob Rathkamp was working for AXO at the time, and I did have a little bit of a, like I said, I really like Dave Thorpe stuff, and I like the Axel brand. Actually, if you ever saw some of the practice and the races from the Rose Bowl in '85, I actually wore some Axel gloves in practice. Axel was doing some plastic on the boots, and it had an Axel logo on it, and I actually ran a AXO sticker on my helmet at that race. And
did you?
Yeah, and I don't think John was very happy about it, but I really did. I had a little love affair with the Axo brand, and Bob wanted to get me on board in '86, and they went after me, but I stayed with JT, and the rest is history. But they drew up some photos of how my gear would look and presented them all to me and stuff, and there was some cool looking stuff, but I look back and I'm glad I stayed with JT. And like I said, I've had lifelong friends with John and Rita, and they're awesome people. And it was a lot of fun.
No one forgets all these advertisements still now. They were so cool back in the day, getting the, even in Europe, we used to get all your, American magazines as well as the ones in the UK. And it was just always super cool opening these up, and just everything was so colorful. The spray jobs on the helmets and everything was just so cool.
Or the mullet. The mullet was coming.
The mullet, yeah, that's cool. It's back in. That's coming back in.
Yeah, no, I believe it. They were putting Oreo cookies in my boots so that the dogs would try to bite on my boot.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, for the other photo. Yeah, that was cool to be part of that helmet too. For one, the guys over there at One, Mark and Ludo, and that was cool too. Yeah, see, that's when I was going to Europe a lot. That's probably '94, I believe, right there.
Okay.
I might have rode a few Supercrosses here in the States, and then that's kind of the kit that I was using when I was racing in Europe a lot in '94, '95. Yeah, that's tough. 91? I was still getting a little bit of help from Cowie. They were loaning me suspension for the weekends, and one of the races, I think my motor blew in the morning of the Binghamton National, and I got to use one of the factory motors. That was the last time that I got to run with one of the factory motors. But yeah, it was fun. I like the 500s. They're a handful. Cool.
Got some nice pictures here. These cards, I've even got some of these cards myself from '91. I think it is a big box of these cards. They're very cool.
Yeah, I just had a guy send me a box of some photos from England, and
did you?
He had a couple of these blown up that I autographed just yesterday or the day before.
Awesome, love that. There's the machine, look.
There you go.
Love it.
250 outdoor and '84.
Love the sticker as well.
Yeah. I think that was in a Team Green magazine right there. I thought that was pretty cool too. I have done some T-shirts with that logo or that design right there as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. That is. What I was going to say is, if you had any favourite race numbers, I know obviously a lot of it's down to what position you finish in and things like that as well. But was there any particular race numbers that you liked, and was there a reason for that at all?
Well, I kind of stick with the number 4 right now. I mean, I earned the number 4 in 88 and 89, and so I still run number 4, and it was a number obviously that I earned a couple years in a row. I was not number 5 in 89, but I never got the chance to use that number. The number 6 in 80 and 85 that I really liked, the big number 6, and that was kind of a number that that stuck with me and with the championship and all that. So those are kind of a couple of my favorites. But like I said, I still to this day run number 4 on my KX5 or 450, and so it's kind of been my number.
How good were those Kawasaki's over them years, Ronnie?
They were good. I mean, they were getting better. I'm kind of a little bit bummed that I missed the 90 bike, because they were, it was an all new bike, and I believe it was a lot better bike. From 86, at 86, when I first went over there from the Honda, it was a little bit of a setback. I believe, the Honda production bike was a lot better based bike and the power. And, I was used to all the Honda stuff. I actually had a set of Honda Works forks and a brake. I think I had a brake and some forks left over from a bike that I built for a magazine shoot, and I took that stuff to Cowie, and there might have been those forks right there.
Was it?
I took that stuff to Cowie, and I said, "Hey, this is how a front brake is supposed to work." And they put different bottoms on those forks, and I raced with them. So it was tough. But like I said, 87 they got better. 88 they were pretty good, and 89 they were good. We were having a few issues in Supercross in 89 when we were trying to run those upside down forks, with the forks flexing, and we didn't realize it until later that the forks were flexing so hard that the rotor was getting bound in the front brake, and the brake was locking up and stuff. And I look back now and I go, well, maybe I should have been out the test track a little bit more and testing that stuff, because it wasn't happening to Wardy, but it was happening to me. And but yeah, they got continuously better. But I'd like to rode that 90 bike. It seemed like 90, 91, the bikes got good.
I love this as well. Not sure who this is, but you put, guys, I'm at the gym watching the video, and now I don't train today. I love that. I love that. I've got Dave Everett. He's put, tell us about your relationship with RJ and the beef in 1987 in particular.
Well, we were actually pretty good friends, me and RJ, in the beginning. He kind of took me under his wing, and we rode a lot. Practiced together. He lived close by. He would come pick me up, and we would go riding and training at different places. And there was a race at my local track that I was telling you about. It was a memorial race, and I think Rick had already turned pro, and I was maybe 14 or 14, I think, or 15, and they did this reunion race. It was a 125 pro, and he came out, and I beat him. And once I beat him, we weren't that great of friends anymore. I don't think he liked it, and I, he worked at it a lot harder than I did, and I think he, it kind of upset him, or it got under his skin that I didn't have to work at it as hard as he did, and sometimes it was like poking the bear. I knew how to push his buttons and get him pissed off. And like I said, I was so nonchalant about everything and just like it was no big deal. And he was so freaking serious, and I would do little shit that I knew would piss him off. And, there was some other things with some of the girls. There used to be a group of girls in town that we all kind of dated. And it was, there was some stuff going on with that he got pissed off. We might have had a little road trip and had some fun with some girls, and I told somebody, and his girlfriend found out, and he was mad at me about that. And then the race that Dave might be talking about is I think it was might have been the 88 Golden State National at Adelanto, and it was a mud race, and and I got the start, and I was leading, and he was catching me, but I knew we were getting close to the end, and you know, there was only one rut in the last turn, and he caught me, and I just got in that rut, and I stopped, and he ran into the back of me, and then like took off, and I got across the finish line, and I was just kind of egging him on a little bit, like, yeah, I won, you know, and he rode up next to me, and he tried to grab my helmet. And he grabbed my helmet. I pulled away, and he slid in the mud, and he crashed. And I kind of laughed at him, you know, and the fans were all yelling and stuff. And he got up, and he tried to punch me, and he barely got me, but he slipped in the mud. And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Chaos,
you know?
chaos.
So we went back to the truck, and I talked to my manager and the guys at Cowie and everything, and that was the first moto. And they go, hey, we could get him arrested for assault, you know, and then he won't be able to ride the second moto, you know. And I go, oh, that's a pretty good idea. Let's do that, you know. I'm like, whatever, let's, you know. So they called the cops on him, and he kept coming over and trying to apologize to me and everything, and I just wouldn't talk to him. And you know, everybody thinks I didn't want to get out of the truck or whatever, but I just didn't want to even talk to him, and I just let him take care of it with the police and stuff. And they arrested him, and I ended up winning the second moto and won the overall. So
Brilliant. That's a great story. No, definitely not.
We're good friends now. We get along great.
That's
I love
good.
Rick. You know, we anytime anything happens with our families or birthdays or anything, I always make sure and give him a call and say hi. And
that's very cool.
You know, so I have a lot of respect for Rick. He's a great guy, and you know, it's cool to see him doing all the announcing. And he does a lot of stuff now, man. He's got a lot of energy and a lot of things going on. So
very cool. Martin said, "What about Jeff Ward? Did you get on with Wardy?"
Yeah, I do. I still get along. You know, I just called him just last week or something and said hi. I think his birthday was last week. Yeah, I look back on my career and kind of one of the regrets I have is that I gave Wardy a little more space than I probably should have. You know, he was my teammate, and anytime that we were close or whatever, I just gave him a lot of respect, and I didn't ride him as hard or race him as hard as I did when I was at Honda. When I was at Honda, my mechanic and me, it was like, man, kill Wardy. But then when I went to Cowie and then he was my teammate, you know, I let that guard down. And looking back, I kind of wished I would have raced him a little harder and been a little more aggressive with him. But, you know, we were friends, and he's a really smart racer. He's one of the smartest racers I've ever raced against. You know, and that's why he's got so many championships. I mean, for a guy his size, you know, he worked at it really hard, and he just, like I said, I think he's one of the smartest racecraft racers that I've ever raced with, man. He knows how to win.
Adam's just mentioned that. Will you be at the Burworth So-Called Vintage in October?
I could be there. I don't know that I'll be racing. Like I said, my racing days are probably come to an end. You know, I was doing World Vets just 3 or 4 years ago, and you know, that the vintage stuff too. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy, and if it's not my bike and it's not set up, and I just show up, then I end up riding something that's not set up for me. And you know, the guy that owns it might think it's super bitching, but then I get on it, it's not that great. And, so yeah, I've done some vintage stuff, but you know, I don't really enjoy it as much anymore. But you know, the suspension hurts my back, and you hit these jumps, and next thing I know, my lower back hurts because there's no suspension and brakes don't work or whatever. But I could be there just to hang out, but probably not be racing.
Okay, cool. This is a good question from Jason here. He's put, everyone wants to hear about what the best bikes were you rode and stuff like that, but let us hear about the hands down worst bike that you ever rode. That's a good one.
Wow. I know there's not many of those, man. I rode a lot of.
I was going to say, I put some good bikes, yeah.
You know, like I said, some of the vintage stuff, like I said, that I went to before. You know, I went to a race. I think it was back in Alabama one time, and I rode a Mako 490, and the carburetor was all worn out. And every time I came to, you know, try to get in a turn, it would stall, and you know, it was terrible. But you know, maybe some of the, I don't know, we did the 4-stroke nationals back in the day, in like the early 80s, 81, 82. I might have won it in 84 on a really bitchin' Honda. But yeah, those old things were kind of crazy. There was a year we rode the Yamaha. It was like a TT 600 and a C&J frame and man, those things were crazy. So not a lot of bad bikes I rode. I got lucky and got to ride a lot of good stuff.
I like that. I like that. I was going to ask you, who was the biggest influence on your career and why, Ronnie?
Probably Brock. You know, like I said, Brock kind of took me under his wing. When I turned pro in '83, I rode to all the races with Brock. You know, my parents would I'd drive over to his house and ride to the airport with him. And, you know, he'd already been racing 4 or 5 years, all the nationals. He knew where to go. He knew how to rent the cars. And that's kind of how I learned how to get into the race and get out of there really quick. And, you know, he was just watching how he held himself and, you know, the way that he rode the races and everything. So Brock was a big influence on me, you know, in the beginning. I mean, I learned what I learned from him in '83 and, you know, but then right away in '84, I mean, things just completely changed when we moved to Honda. You know, Yamaha was more of a family feel, you know, and everybody was you know, there was a camaraderie there. And when I went to Honda, it was like everybody was on their own. You know, then it was like my mechanic, you know, Chris Haynes it was just me and him against the world. And so things just changed, you know, and when I was at Yamaha, you know, it was cool to be with Brock that first year and learn from him and go to the races. And then, like I said, everything changed the next year when I went to Honda.
Did you have any superstitions at all, Ronnie? Anything you had to specifically do? Any weird and wonderful things you have in your career?
Not really. I mean, I didn't, you know, I put the left boot on first or something like that. I mean, I do that still to this day when I ride. You know, I never put my right boot on first. I don't know why, but you know, I never really scratched my helmets, or some of those guys used to, you know, brand new helmet, you scratch it or something like that. Not really. I didn't have a lot of those.
Did you have any? What was your favorite Supercrosses and favorite tracks as well in the outdoor?
Well, obviously, San Diego Supercross was probably one of my favorites. I raced there when I was a kid. You know, they had amateur day after the Supercrosses, so I think I rode there in maybe '81 and '82, and then to come back and win it in '83 on a bike that, you know, we bought. Actually, yeah, it was at the end of '83 because we'd already. My Yamaha contract had ran out. We'd already signed with Honda, but I hadn't rode the Hondas yet, and Yamaha didn't want to give me one of the works bikes to race for that race. And it's funny, if you look at the win ad, I ended up winning the race, but they didn't run me in the ad. They ran Brock and Ricky that I think got second and third, and they mentioned that they won, but they didn't mention that it was me. But San Diego and you know, obviously the Coliseum used to be really cool. I used to enjoy going up there and the peristyles and how big the place was. And that was cool. And I always did good at Seattle too. I don't know why, but I liked Seattle. A lot of the guys, you know, it was a really tough track, super ruddy. And Pontiac was kind of like that too. And I always liked Pontiac too. I think Pontiac might be my last professional Supercross win in the States. And I did really good in Pontiac as well.
Where would you say was the best atmosphere that you raced in, crowd-wise?
In the Donations, man. The Donations or the USGP. I mean, one of the coolest laps I ever led was at the '85 USGP, and the people hanging over the fence, and man, everybody's partying, and it was one of the coolest laps I've ever led in my life. And
wow,
too bad it didn't last a little bit longer, but yeah, like I said, that or the Donations, you know, like that in '88, that race was incredible. I think they had 100,000 fans, and people were just going crazy. And afterward, everybody at the podium, you know, it was just insane.
Unbelievable. I got Leo and my man here. He's just put, during your racing career, was there a rider that you never managed to beat in a race? Interesting.
Oh. Not if I raced him, you know. I don't know. You know, there was on my day, only if I didn't race him, then I didn't beat him. But you know, any of the guys,
beautiful.
Yeah, on a good day for me, you know, if I was on, you know, I definitely was winning. You know, and I beat all the guys here in the States, and I beat the guys in the GPs and all that. So, you know, like I said, you know, Wardy was a really good racer and had the race mind, and you know, RJ was super strong, but there were days where I had them both covered. So
beautiful. Dan's asked about UK tracks. I know you didn't ride many, and obviously the weather wasn't too kind when you come over either. So I don't know if there was one that you enjoyed more than the others.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a super long time ago. I think it was 94 was the last time maybe I was in England. So, you know, the Foxhills track, and you know, and then, you know, Farley was, you know, it was cool to come to Farley. I didn't know much about it. Now seeing the history of, you know, the 500 GPs there and stuff, I didn't realize it had that big a history. And, you know, I think we went by somewhere where you could see Namur was maybe up on the hill or something. People were talking about when we were at Farley, but some people were pointing out that maybe Namur was up on top of the hill or something like that. But
they raced all through the street and all that in Belgium. It was crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy track. That'd have been a good one to ride. Wouldn't never happen these days, that's for sure.
Right through the beer garden. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop, like, who was it? George's, or somebody stopped and had a beer? Carlquist, or
yeah, it was Carlquist who stopped there for a beer when he won. He literally stopped by the pub as they went on the road down the tarmac. He just pulled over, had a quick beer.
There was a few races that I used to race that there was cannabis growing wild, and everybody knew I smoked pot back in the day, and guys would take a big hit of pot and blow it out right as I'm coming by the track. I'd be like, whoa, what's that?
I love it, man. I love that. Did you have has there been a favorite win of yours, Ronnie, that really sticks in your memory still, that really enjoyed?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the San Diego win was super cool to me. I was still in high school. I was 17 years old. I was in 11th grade in high school, and you know, a lot of my family and friends were there, and you know, we were kind of the underdog. And, you know, one of the cool things about it was, you know, like, you know, it wasn't on TV, and not everybody at school knew what I did. Some people did, but, you know, not everybody. It wasn't like it was on TV every week. And so on Monday, when I went into class after the win on Saturday night, I think I went into my second period, and they used to have an announcement over the loudspeaker of, you know, the wrestling team did this and the football team did this, and they were going through there, and then they said, and Ron Lechien won the San Diego Supercross on Saturday. I couldn't believe it. I almost fell out of my chair, and well, this might be a good week with the girls.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, love that. Obviously, a lot of the riders suffer a lot of injuries. Obviously, we all know part and parcel of the sport and everything. Did you have any certain ones that you even think stopped you from winning things that probably could have happened? Was there any bigger injuries than others that really?
Yeah, well, I'm still having trouble with my shoulder. You know, I believe I dislocated my shoulder the first time at Gainesville in '86, and I missed the '86 Daytona Supercross, and you know, and I've had it pop out a few times since then, and I'm actually struggling with it right now. I'm trying to go and see what we can do to maybe get it fixed, but you know, I don't know. I've always just kind of let it rehab and get it better. I've never had it officially looked at or surgery on it or anything, but I'm still having a little bit of issues with that. And then obviously when I broke my femur, I mean, that was a big wreck, and you know, it's the biggest bone in your body, and you know, I kind of, you know, I don't want to say it scared me, but it opened my eyes that this, you know, how dangerous it is.
Definitely. Did you have a major preference between Supercross and Motocross? Did you prefer one more than the other?
Well, I liked Supercross because it was at night and it was cool, and the stands and the fans and everybody were right there. I grew up racing motocross, so you know, but I was kind of in the beginning of, you know, all the triple jumps and stuff like that. I mean, right as I was coming into Supercross, I mean, if you know about my first win in Supercross, there was a double jump that I did in practice, and I hid it from everybody, and I only did it once in practice, and then I didn't do it in the heat race. I didn't do it again, and then the first lap of the main event, I hit it, and I landed like right next to O'Mara, and then I did it every lap in the main, and I ended up winning by like 20 seconds, and that was before they were videoing practice and stuff. And after that race, all the factory teams started videoing all the other riders, so that you couldn't, you know, there wasn't anything that you could hide, you know. So, Yeah, so that was kind of interesting, and yeah, so it was good. I'm pretty stoked about that one, and yeah.
Is there any other sports you like watching, Ronnie, on TV, or is there anything other sports you like doing at all?
Yeah, so I really enjoy watching golf, and I play a lot of golf. It's probably one of the hardest sports I've ever tried to be halfway decent at, and not that great at it, but I'm okay. I enjoy watching it. I'm a little, I don't know, with this whole live golf thing and what's going on.
I know, yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, it's kind of distracting a little bit, and I really like Dustin and some of the other guys that went to the live tournament, and I think it's taken away from PGA, and it's so I'm kind of bummed about that. But and I still, moto's still my favorite. I mean, I watch motocross. I mean, I'm sitting there on the couch every week when the outdoors or Supercross comes on, and I enjoy going to the ones that are close by, and then I'm always watching, and I'm a big fan. And so golf, like I said, moto, golf. That's kind of my main ones.
Any of the guys that race now, Ronnie, that catch your eye, that that excite you when you watch, entertain you when you watch these guys now? Is there any guys that you enjoy watching?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jet and Chase are kind of a couple guys that I really enjoy watching. It's cool to see how smooth Chase is, and winning some races on the 450, and then like I said, I mean, obviously everybody's in love with Jet, and he's got a killer style, and he's it kind of reminds me a little bit of me when I was racing at Honda when I was 18, and the factory bike and all the gear, and especially like I said at Polo when they had all the retro stuff on and everything. It was cool to see, and it was kind of it made me feel good.
Did you ever, because I do a lot of the interviews as well with the Speedway guys, because my dad and my uncle race Speedway in the UK as well. Did you ever have a go at the Speedway, the Circle, Costa Mesa, or anywhere like that?
No, those guys are crazy, man. No brakes.
No brakes, yeah.
I was friends with, my mechanic when I raced at Honda was really good friends with Bruce Penhall.
Yeah, I've done
I heard a lot of crazy stories about Bruce and them, and then and I still talk to Randy DiFrancesco, which is Ryder's dad, and apparently he used to race a lot of Speedway stuff in Australia and stuff like that. So I do know some people, and I've followed it back in the day, and but yeah, I never rode it. It does not look easy.
No. If you could in your prime go back and re-race a meeting or an event in your prime on a bike that you wanted, what bike would it be, and where would you do that? What would you like to do that? Reminisce that.
Man, I'd really like another shot, probably at the '85 Rose Bowl. That night there was three of us that had the chance to win the Supercross title. I believe I was the best guy that year, and I should have won that title. But like I said before, I threw it away a few times, made some small mistakes, and crashed, and it came down to the last race. And during the week that week, I was practicing with one of my friends, and he kept cutting the track, and it was dusty. And I'd pass him, and then he'd cut the track and get in front of me again, and he was dusting me out, and I didn't see a rock, and I hit a rock, and I crashed, and I split my elbow to the bone. I think it was on Wednesday. And so I got stitches, and they got it all back together, but it was really sore on Saturday, and we made a decision to shoot Novocaine in my elbow, and I think that was a bad idea. And one of the first jumps I hit, it looks like my arm just gives out because it's numb. And so if I had a chance to maybe run that race again, I mean, that's one of those races. I always look back at Daytona too, 89 Daytona. I had that race in the bag, and the last lap, my power valve gear melted and stuck the power valve shut, and I think I ended up fourth. And every year when Daytona comes around, it's like it just irks me that I had that one and it got away from me. But
that's cool. Lee Owens just put here, Ron, across all eras, be it in USA or Europe, who is your favorite all-time rider?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Hannah was the guy when I was growing up. I mean, when I was still idolizing guys and still trying to, not sure whether I was going to make it or not. He was always one of the coolest guys in America, and I looked up to him and his style, and then to end up having his mechanic be my mechanic in '83 was really cool, and you know, something that was almost unimaginable, you know, for me to have Keith be my mechanic, and you know, and he was Bob's mechanic through all those years and everything. So that was something really cool that happened in my racing career, and I look back on that pretty proud of. But probably Bob Hanna.
Cool, nice. Which riders would you say, was there any riders during your career that you didn't actually enjoy racing with out on the track? You always seem to come together with them, always having issues with them. Is there anyone like that in your career in general?
Probably be Rick, you know, still be Rick. You know, me and Rick
Still be Rick.
We had a bad tiff going there for a while, and you know, he always wanted, and I mean, I would try to knock him down or, you know, crash him or whatever I could do, and he would do the same to me. So we really had to, you know, back in those days, I mean, if you could knock a guy down and put him in the dirt, and you didn't have to worry about him anymore. You know, nowadays it's, you know, they're making a big deal out of it and everything, and that you can't touch anybody or run into anybody. I mean, I get it nowadays, and now that I'm a fan and I watch and I see Barcia doing stuff, and then it just changes the whole dynamic of the race. And as a fan, I'm like, that sucks. But then when I was a rider, I didn't give a shit. You know, if I could knock that guy down, or you hear Bob Hanna say if I try to break his leg, you know, and I mean, that's how it was. I mean, we went after the guys hard, and we raced hard, and if you could put them on the ground, they put them on the ground. You know, that's just how it was.
I think even Barcia went on the podium when everyone was booing him. He pretty much said that as well, pretty much.
He
in
said
not so
that's
many
how I
words.
raced. Yeah, that was
it was pretty cool. He stuck to his that was good.
Yeah, I mean, at least he stuck to his guns, and you know, like I said, I look at it both ways as a rider and as a fan, and after that happened, I kind of, like I said, as a fan, it took away from the experience. I believe it would have been a better race, you know, if he wouldn't have knocked Anderson down, and how the race would have. You just never know, because it's you know. But yeah, that one when he hit Anderson, I was like, man, he just kept going until he made contact and then took off, and I'm like, that was pretty dirty.
It was. Oh, love it. There's plenty of that went on. This is a cool story here, and there's no name on it, unfortunately. They've not got the privacy thing off, but it says, when Ronnie won King of Bercy, I asked for a photo and he handed me the trophy. When we got the film printed, all I got was a picture of 4 white eyes as the flash didn't work. Oh my God.
Bummer.
Oh, what a bummer. Lifetime chance there, gone.
Yeah, I don't think I ever won the King of Bercy, but I did, like I said, I won one night in '88.
Must have been that then, yeah.
And you know, we had to take the trophy apart to get it home because it was so big.
So big.
And by the time we got it home, we couldn't remember how to put it back together. And then I still don't. I don't know where that trophy is today.
There's some stories coming out now. Martin's put, Ron, do you remember the Supercross in Sweden, 1985, Gothenburg? Can you remember it? You kicked a lap rider.
Yeah, I did watch that just not too long ago, and yeah, I saw that, or I think I ran it. Yeah, I remember I kicked at him, or I think I knocked him down, and then I kicked at him. Yeah, I was a cocky son of a bitch back then, man. That was a cool track. I really liked Gothenburg. I had a lot of fun there. There's some cool video on YouTube about the race, and you know, the velodrome was kind of bitching where you get up on the velodrome, and yeah, it was cool.
Love everyone's loved it. Cheers, Mr. Sheehan. You're the man. So great to listen to this. 100%.
Appreciate it.
He's also put, does Ron still ride the jet skis? He's a great rider and race to wins.
I do still have a stand-up jet ski, and man, I've got them all ready to roll this year. It's getting pretty hot here in San Diego, and like I said, if my shoulder wasn't hurt right now, I'd already been out riding them. But I still do enjoy jet skiing. It's a lot of fun. It's a tricky sport too. You know, a little bit of motocross on water, and if you crash, you don't get hurt. So, and I actually just acquired a 550 jet ski last year. That's a really cool PJS original ski that I'm looking forward to getting running and maybe letting somebody else ride. I'm a little too big for the 550, but I still have a 750. I
race motocross as well. It's actually not. When I first went on one, it's not as easy as you think it's going to be, is it, on the jet ski? It's a totally different thing. I got on it and was like, what? I can't. What the hell?
Very tricky. Very tricky.
Yeah.
One of my best friends that I grew up with, and I actually took him to the Donations in '88. You know, he had some knee problems, and his motocross career never really took off, but he started riding jet skis, and the first time I ever went to the pond to watch him jet ski, he came across the pond and he spun the thing around and did this trick and shot a roost of water. And I went, that's freaking cool. I go, I want to learn how to do that. And I think I went jet skiing every day for about 2 months just to try to learn how to ride them. They're definitely tricky. And then trying to race them is even, you know, I raced jet skis a little bit there in the 90s and late 80s. And man, the track's just changing all the time. And it's just, it's pretty gnarly.
Very cool. I think we've got about 5 minutes, so I'll just try and get a couple more in. If you had to, this is a hard one. If you had to consider, who would you consider the 3 best riders that you've ever raced against in your career ever? Who would you say those 3 were? If I had to put you on the spot.
Well, like I said, probably Hannah, RJ. You know, I did race with Hannah. I was on a team with him there. You know, and probably Wardy. I mean, like I said, those guys were some of the best racers. They've got 6, 7 national titles. It was cool to be able to kind of come up in the beginning of the 83s and race against guys like Mike Bell. And, you know, Mike Bell put me on the ground in 83 and I was a teammate of his. And, you know, it was a rude awakening to be put on the ground by, a guy like as big as Mike Bell. But, you know, racing Bell and Hannah and those guys in the early years, even O'Mara. I mean, O'Mara, I always had a lot of respect for Johnny. He had a cool style, you know, and he did some things. I learned some things from him racing him when I was younger that stuck with me, you know, just like holding the clutch in and revving it wide open, or yelling at people. I mean, I remember the first couple of times somebody yelled at me. I might have been Magoo in 83 at Hangtown. You know, I came into a corner and he ran into me and I heard him laughing and I was like, holy shit, this guy's crazy, you know. And the next lap in that same turn, man, I came in and I freaking rammed him back and he was laughing again. And I'm like, wow, this guy's just nuts, man. I just plowed this guy and he's laughing, you know.
That's brilliant. Oh, love it, love it, love it. If you had, Ronnie, if you had to give advice to any youngster out there that wants to be a professional motocross rider, supercross rider, what would your advice be to those kids out there?
Well, obviously you got to hit all the big races. You know, you got to have good results and practice. I mean, motocross is one of those things where you got to put the time in on the bike. I mean, you got to ride in all kinds of different conditions to learn what's going to happen or how the bike's going to react. And I think that's what was, you know, I just had a drive when I was younger to, when I was practicing, I would push, I wouldn't just go out and ride around. I would ride hard all the time when I was practicing, just so that I would learn how the bike was going to react when I hit a bush or when I hit a rock or whatever, you know, and just pushing yourself to lean it over farther or blow that berm up harder or, you know, whatever. And, you know, like I said before, it's a lot of timing these days. I mean, you got to be healthy, you got to have the right bike, you know, your age limit when you come into the class and all kinds of different stuff. So, but I guess back to just practice.
Last one I'll ask you before I go, and you've got to do something at 12. What do you think about these electric bikes? I don't know if you've seen Zeb Tortelli on a Stark bike. I don't know if you've got to go on one or even seen one. What's your thoughts on these electric bikes?
Yeah, they're interesting. You know, I don't know. I mean, it looks like that's the way it's going. I mean, for Maxima and my company, you know, it might not be a good thing, or no motor oils, and all we're going to be able to sell is some chain lube and some brake fluid. But, you know, I mean, I like the fact that they'll be able to maybe have some tracks that are in closed areas where the noise won't be a factor. And, you know, maybe the motocross bikes will get a little more, you know, spots where you can ride, more open spots to ride. I mean, for me, it would be kind of cool back in the day, but you can sneak around without the noise. I mean, I like that, but it seems like that's kind of the way it's going. And I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I mean, the sound to me, I mean, I still miss the 2-stroke sound, you know, of Supercross with 2-stroke, and, you know, the 4-strokes are so loud and they're so easy to ride. And I mean, not that you don't need technique to ride them, but they're just easier to ride. You know, I ride them and it's just, they get so much torque and they're just easier to ride. And I think back in the day when there wasn't as much torque and it was harder to get traction, you know, you had to have a little more technique to be fast. And so it just, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to the day I go to Anaheim Supercross, and it's all electric bikes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, like a Scale Electric sound.
Yeah.
Dave just asked about the product here as well. He's saying, we struggle to get it over in Australia at the moment. My OCD is having a hard time.
I believe we just signed up with a new Australian distributor, so hopefully that's
here we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Within the last week, we've got a new distributor in Australia, so hopefully we'll get a stream of SC1 headed down there. And we sell a boatload of SC1. It's one of the greatest products we have, and we call it new bike in a can, and it really brings back the luster and the plastic, and just, I mean, it's amazing. I sold a bike, an 85 CR125 that I had, 6 or 8 months ago, and I think I did a can and a half SC1, and the thing looks brand new. I couldn't believe it.
I love it. There you go, Dave. So it looks like he's coming to you soon, so you can check that out. There you go. Ronnie, absolutely legend. I'm so buzzing to be able to get this. Honestly, you've made my life, mate. I really appreciate your time. Unbelievable to meet you.
Yeah, glad to meet you. Glad to be on. Super happy we got it done, and
yes.
Thanks again for having me.
Beautiful. Thanks ever so lot. Cheers, Ronnie. I'll keep in touch anyway. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you. Top man. Yes. What a ledge. Ron Lechien, the dogger. How cool was that? What a proper ledge. I'm buzzing. Oh, unbelievable. I'll have to show you this list soon, everyone. I wrote out earlier all the interviews I'd done, and it's like off the hook. I was literally, but like, there's always, obviously, of course, there's always ones that like the paper, as you would say, a bit more. And to get Ron on, like I said, I did chase Ronnie for a couple of years, and even Talon from last night. How cool is that to see some of these guys, these legends and heroes for all of us, 80s and 90s. Ragging them VHSs, and thank God for YouTube. We can still reminisce over them. Or Marty's DVDs. Hook up Marty, I'll hook you up with any DVDs. He's got everything, this man. All the memorabilia in the world and all the DVDs in the world. He's going to hook Ronnie up with some DVDs, and Talon as well, I think, as well. If you need to get hold of some DVDs, he's your man. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Alec. Yeah, it's so cool. So cool. Cheers, Stefan. Appreciate that. Unbelievable. Can't believe. It's one of them ones where I'm just going to go off and have a cry about it and emotional. Unbelievable. Ron Lechien. Who would have? Oh, my God. So many of these is crazy, man. Unbelievable. Give me that list. Yeah, I've got that list for you, Ben. Ben is the stats man of the century, and he can hook me up into categories and the interviews. Unbelievable. I need to put it in something because it just looks so cool. When I wrote it all down, it looked crazy. It was unbelievable. Thank you, David. Thanks for coming on, buddy. And thanks for all your questions, guys. I had a lot of them written down, but you guys, as per normal, had a lot of them covered as well. So here to ask your guys questions first over myself, 100%. It's about getting the fans on live with their heroes and that, and getting your names up on the thing. That's why this Facebook thing with the whole, when you can't, privacy thing, it drives you mad when some of the names can't come up because you got to click on this link and stuff, because it's cool to put your names up on the screen. You could take a picture of that, screenshot on your phone with your name on there, live with your hero. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Cheers, buddy. Thanks, Ben. You can keep an eye out as well. I don't know if you guys have seen him. Ben's been doing like top 50 in Europe, isn't it, Ben? And he's doing a lot of articles in the TMX. I've been like hooking him up with some contacts, and he's going to hopefully hook me up with some contacts as well for some interviews as well. So we're helping each other. Check them out in the TMX. I think I've seen quite a few of them already. Rob Herring and all that was really cool. He's got plenty of them going on. I think Ron's going to be on one of them as well, so have to hook the email up for that. Thanks, Marty. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Awesome job, Lee. Almost forgot about it. What an absolute legend. Yes, thank you very much, Scott, for coming on. Thanks for everyone coming on tonight. There's plenty of you guys on tonight. Really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be able to bring some more of these legends to you guys over the coming months, especially in the winter. It'll be easier to get the guys as well when the darker nights set in and people get indoors a bit more and chill out. Like I said, hopefully going to have Jeff Emig soon. He said he will do it. And I'm hoping that Jeff might be able to hook me up with RC and This is how it works. Contact to contacts and all that. Yeah, but I'm hoping to chase all them. There's so many guys I can still chase that ultimates myself, even like McGrath and Bubbers, RCs, Pastranas, Villapotos. Hey, coming to Foxhill. Hope to get to meet him. I even WhatsApped, even saying that, look, I WhatsApped Ricky Johnson earlier, thinking he probably won't reply. Did reply, talked to him about Ronnie tonight, and said, look forward to meeting you at Foxhill. RJ saying, look forward to meeting you at Foxhill. Jesus Christ. Someone wake me up. Bad to the bone, Mr. JT. Good one, Lee. Enjoyed that. Thanks to Ronnie. Cheers, Rick. Cheers, Kevin. Thanks for coming on. Sorry for you guys with those names that couldn't come up. It's just a bit of a bummer. Like I said, I know people just click straight on the video, but there's like a little link in the post before you come in the video. You just click on that. Gives you Facebook privacy to see your picture, basically. Thank you, buddy. Bicycle Rider on YouTube. Love that. Yes, David Bailey. Like I said, I'm trying to get contact to contact. Another one, a cool one that I know you guys like. I've actually got the mobile number of Damon Bradshaw that Jeff Stanton hooked me up. Jeff Stanton was mega. He hooked me up with Jeff Ward as well. I got his number and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get Damon Bradshaw. He has replied to me. I did nearly faint when he replied to me one day. I just thought I was texting a black hole a few times. And then out of nowhere, I had a text back, Damon Bradshaw comes up in your mail. And I literally had to pick my jaw off the floor. And then I've tried a couple more times, and he said he was busy going over. I think he was even doing some stuff with Jeff as well. But hopefully I'll get Damon Bradshaw, and like, how cool would that be as well? So that would be another one that would literally blow our socks off. Thanks, Alan. No problem, buddy. Pleasure. Yes, Johnny O'Mara is another one I'd love to get on. See what I mean? There's so many. There's Larry Ward, Guy Cooper I'd love to do. I did speak to Steve Lampson a couple of times. Tim Ferry I spoke to a couple of times. Just nailing these guys down, basically. I just chase them all. I chased like Stefan Everts for a whole year solid. Then we ended up becoming friends, weirdly. And then obviously I advertised his gin, and he helped me out with loads of contacts, which was really cool. When he did that video saying supporting the Ashby Motocross to Spear Memories, like I said, another crazy moment. I'll tell you a story. I was in the work van once with my brother when I was still working with my brother, and I was doing the digger driving. I was in the back of the van and sorting out some stuff about doing the interview with Stefan Everts, and he rang me on FaceTime, like a FaceTime on Facebook, like you do. Of course, I looked at it. I probably thought it was you, Stefan. I saw Stefan on there, and I was like, and then I saw Stefan Everts. I thought, hey? And I literally shit to myself. I said to my brother, I think, it says Stefan Everts is FaceTiming. That can't be right. He's like, answer it, you prick. All that. He was like, answer it. I'm like, no, I don't want it. And I literally answered it. I'm sat in the back of the van, like looking at state and all that. And I did that like, Stefan. And he was like, hi, Lee. And I was like, oh my shitting God. Oh, good job I went driving. That's all I could say. I would have been in the edge, clean in the edge. Fucking honestly. And then I showed Ben a picture of it yesterday. I actually got to meet Stefan as well in my hometown at Foxhill when I met him with Liam. And I stood on the bank with him, and we're like talking about lines at Foxhill in my hometown in Swindon, talking about lines with Stefan Everts about the 90s. And we were talking lines. I'm not talking coke lines here. That's as close as I ever. That's the only coke I've ever done. You know what I mean? We were talking lines on the track. I actually pointed out to him a couple of lines. I said to him, look, about Liam taking. Look, check me out. Loved the Stealth line back in the day in the 90s, boys, in the BSMA. Don't get a BSMA champion for nothing, You've got to know your lines. You've got to be stealth. But I literally told him about a couple of lines I spotted that some riders were doing in practice at the British Championship. I said, you should tell Liam about that one down there. And he was like, yeah. And I thought, am I seriously telling Stefan about lines? Maybe I was going to tell him so that he could go round on a smooth line for his lap of honour that he did that day. That was unbelievable as well. Pretty sick. Yes, Stanley Laporte. That'd be cool. Certainly are, Barry. Crazy times, mate. Last couple of years since I started doing these, since the first lockdown, when I finished all my football managing and stuff and got back into motocross and speedway and stuff. And like I said, I wrote out all the interviews. I think I think I writ out as well, and there was 35 world champions as well from Speedway and Motocross and the AMA, and that was crazy. I was like, whoa, you forget half of it. Can you get Aussie Craig Dack? I'm up for everything, Dave. I've got a mate that come over to me, and I met at Foxhill at the British Championship last year. My old mate Mick. Don't know if he's on tonight. And he does make me laugh. He said, he goes, I got some fans of your channel in Southern Australia. And I was like, what? He's like, who are you getting on? And I was telling him about that I'd done Jeff Leask and going to do Jason Crump again, Speedway guy, 3 times world champion and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Got to get hold of Chad Reed as well. Who's got contacts for Chad Reed? Love to get Chad Reed on as well. Yeah, David Bailey would be super cool, wouldn't it? Too many icons out there, isn't there? It's crazy, never ending. But gonna chase them all. Like I said, I've been chasing them all. Like I said, literally, I've been chasing Ron Lechien, Talon Volan for the last couple of years. And literally, I sent 5 or 6 emails. I've got loads of mad emails. You know what it's like if you don't get replies, it just feels like you're, mailing a black hole. But I literally randomly just sent 2 emails last week. And I actually said to Ron, I said, I can't give up, Ronnie. That's what I actually said in the email. I'm not going to ever give up. And he goes, come on then, man. He goes, we're going to do it. He goes, I'll get my IT girl to try and sort me out so I can get on the old, video camera on the computer and that. And he goes, we'll do it. And I was like, yes, get in. Have you interviewed Chris Morton? I have actually, Kevin. So if you have a little wander down my YouTube channel, Motocross and Speedway Memories, I did speak to Chris Morton. Yes, I did. Thanks, Lee, and thanks for your support, buddy. Lee's the man that supports me. Owen Developments, you'll see it behind me. Turbocharger specialist. Owen Developments, you can see it's been going across the bottom of the screen all the time. He's always supported me. What a top guy he is. Owen Developments, really appreciate it. It's nice to get some help. Really appreciated it, Lee. And he got to ride as well. Again, he hadn't rode for many years, and he got come and rode at Cullum in the second reunion. So that was really cool to see him there with his dad and actually meet him as well. So thank you very much, Lee. Really do appreciate it, buddy. Martin here, Daryl King, Shane King, Lee, my brother-in-law, lives in New Zealand. I have actually done one with Shane King right at the very start. A lot of people don't know about it, I don't think. I did it on Skype from New Zealand, Martin. But I'd love to do Daryl King as well. So I suppose I could. I can't remember even how I got hold of Shane King. I think it might have been even Instagram. Like weird. Like sometimes you'd be surprised. Like I could, message someone 100 times on Instagram and literally nothing, and then out of nowhere, I think that's how I got Stefan. And but yeah, I'd love to do Shane on a live one. Would be cool as well with the fans, because like I said, even those guys that I did all them sort of 50 or to 100 Skype ones, it's a totally different thing to do it on these lives on StreamYard that Mr. Winslet sorted me out. It's a totally different thing because you can bring the fans on, put pictures on the screen, bring all you guys' comments in, ask your questions. It's just a totally different thing. Oh yeah, Dave thought that was because he was my first idol. First meeting I ever saw an adult race was I was 12 years old, 1989 500 Grand Prix at Farley. So obviously, as you remember, a lot of you that were there, Dave Fort winning that day over Gabors and etc. And I always remember that MDS full face red helmet with the red gear and everything on the Honda, factory Honda. I was 12 years old. That's when I literally started racing at 12 on an 80. So that was the same year. So yeah, when I first did it on Skype, I won't lie, I literally died of nerves before and after. So it was super cool to do that. I think I did a 3 or 4 part Skype with him, and then I ended it. He was my first ever live video on here. The first one I did on this platform now. I got to speak to Dave Fort. Was the first one on live as well. So that was mega cool as well. Obviously, and I think we've got to all check out soon. I think he's got a book coming out soon, hasn't he? Dave Fort. So I'm sure we're all going to be scrabbling for that one. Someone needs to interview you, Lee. You had some good results in your schoolboy days. Thanks, Scott, buddy. Yeah, even that, Scott, like winning the BSMA finals and a few things like that. Like you look down that trophy, like on the perpetual one that you get for the year when you win it. You looked all down the names on there. It's crazy names. Four Pizzle won it. Malin, Dobb, Craig Prattley, Welsh Wizard, Holmesy. So many names on there. Barry Johnson's. There was literally every name All the top British Championship guys, remember, they were all on that trophy. That was like mega cool to be on the same trophy as them for sure. Kees van der Ven, yes, I'd love to do that. There's a few others. John van der Berg, I'd like to do. I have spoke to Dave Strybos a couple of times because Stefan got hold of him for me and he said he would do it. So I chased that. I'd love to do Trampers Parker. Stefan spoke to him as well, but he has got a shared Facebook, I think, with his missus on Facebook, Parker. So it's not easy to get hold of that one. I've messaged a few times, not really got too far with that one, but I'd like to do Trampers Parker. It would be cool. I could have done Puzar and Chico Shodi as well, because Evert's got hold of Puzar for me. So I was literally like, yes. I had old Puzar's yellow spray jobbed replica of Puzar from the 90s. I actually wore that when I raced, and I was thinking, yes, Puzar was like one of my favourites. But his English is not good at all. So that was a bit of a no-go, and the same with Chody. I even spoke to his sister. He's not very good with the English either. So I actually had Puzar was there ready to do it. And it's like, no, oh, what's it in English? Oh, no, I don't speak good English. It's like, shit. I think I'd do it with an interpreter with him. I'd be happy to. Pedro Tractor, yes, I've got him on my Facebook. I have messaged him as well. Keep trying, Marty. People think I'm probably lying. The amount of people you always suggest me, and I go, yeah, I've messaged him. Yes, I know who Craig Dack is. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Did a cool one with Jeff Lease that I don't think a lot of people knew about as well. I did a 3 or 4 part on Skype as well when I first started. Because how it first started, I did probably like 300 plus, I think it was. Of half of that was pros, half of it was BSMA schoolboys from the UK, obviously. I did all them right at the start, all written ones, you know, Q&As, put them in my group with pictures and stuff. And then I literally went into them few videos where I sent the guys my questions and they videoed themselves answering the questions, but it wasn't easy getting them big videos over. I think there was like Nickel, Herring, Bevorts, Warren Edwards, Neville Bradshaw, Justin Morris, all those guys did it for me, which was really cool. Perry Leask is also on there. Quite a few guys did it. And then I obviously got into them, you know, through the lockdown. All of a sudden, everyone become onto Skype and all that. Did the Skype, so it was obviously just me and them. So I would literally just blast out my 20, 30 questions to them. But this is a whole new level when you can go on these things live, get the fans' questions on the screen, pictures, much better thing. So big thanks to my man Adams Winslow who hooked me up with it. You might have seen a lot of his interviews he did with Dave King were really cool as well. He spoke to, you should check his out as well. Spoke to Brock Glover and so many legends he spoke to as well. Everts as well. He did loads. Ryan Hughes, who I'm going to speak to as well. Spoke to Ryan Hughes. Be good to get Rhino on. That'd be a good laugh, I think. It's just trying to nail Rhino down, literally. But yeah, I'm literally all over it, people. I'm back on it again. I won't lie. The second reunion meeting was like a massive thing, like crazy. When it like nearly 400 riders, it was mental. I booked everyone in myself personally. It was absolutely haywire. I won't lie, it did cremate me for a while. Did literally cremate me for a while. So yeah, I'm getting back on it now. Got new zest for life, and we're going to have a motocross meeting in October. We plan to bring out that we'll let you all know about soon, hopefully. Got back on these interviews. Basically, I've just got back chasing these guys. So it's not easy, trust me. Spend many an hour slipping into the DMs in it, we call it. Who's that? Lee Morrison. Yes, is that the Morrison Lee that's gone? Lee, me, you, and you, Lee, and that Lee. Is that the guy that I remember him when he had Top Schoolboy? Didn't he go? He's the guy that gone on to do the stunts and all that with like Robbie Heron, Dobby Edmondson, and all that. So I remember the name. John Pettet. He was one of my favourite riders when I was growing up in the schoolboys. Loved watching John Pettet. I did ask him. Pretty much told me he doesn't like them sorts of things. I think he's pretty shy, John. Did speak to him when I tried to get the Q&A right at the start of all the BSMA guys and stuff, and I know he went on and did all the British Championships and that. I think he rode on a TM and stuff like that, and I think he rode even the Thumper Cross series and that, I think, as well, didn't he, Lee? Because you did that as well, didn't you? I'm sure you told me you did that as well. I'm sure Pettit did that as well. I'm sure he did. Cool, yeah, Michel Rinaldi, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I saw Stefan Everett shared a picture of him today on his Facebook, and I wrote underneath doing that. I think there was 3 of them on the thing, and I said, "Oh, got 2 of you guys, Stefan. Hint, hint. Hook me up, Stefan." But yeah, there's so many guys to chase out there. Like I think I showed a lot of the guys. Obviously, I don't show numbers for obvious reasons, but I mean, I like I said, I'm still chasing Jean-Michel Bale, so I'm gonna give him all the. I'm not giving up Jean-Michel Bale. I think I've put it out there once when he replied to me to an email. Got an email for Jean-Michel Bale. Like I said, email a few times, think, oh no, it's not even the right email, blah blah blah. And then one day he replied, told him about the Jeff Stanton story about him pounding out laps at practice, and JMB was up on the old side of the mountain there, carving his name out, JMB, on the side of the hill with his back tyre while Stanton's pounding the laps out. And JMB, what a ledge! Even though he goes, "Oh, I don't like to talk about the past and everything," he literally sent me the picture back on email. So that was another like pinch me. I've been chasing Dave Watson. I did speak to him. He did ring me once. Remember, he did all the race spec stuff and everything. And Dave Watson, I'd like to do one with him. I've also messaged. I got the number of David Villeman. I'd like to do one with him. Been chasing up. You might have seen Craig Prattley on his Castrol Honda was at our reunions and even our first ever practice day we did as well down in Yardley. I speak to Craig quite a bit, and I'm still hounding him for. He's a bit shy on these things as well, but I'd love to get Craig Prattley on for an interview as well. I did love him in the British Championship. And obviously the World Championship on the 125s and all that. I think he was on his Bridgestone and stuff like that. But I'd love to get him on. I was just looking down my messages. I literally I send out hundreds and hopefully get some comebacks. I asked Greg Hancock to try and hook me up with Ty Woofenden as well for the Speedway. Would be cool. Yeah, I've been chasing lots of American guys. So hopefully, like I said, trying to get a date down with Jeff Emig would be really cool. DT Dad. Is that Keith Thorpe you're on about, Adam? That'd be a cool one, wouldn't it? Especially the mechanics side of things as well, because I did a few Q&As with mechanics. It was quite a cool thing. Mr. Wilson, Jared Smith and Wesley lives in. Yeah, I did try to go down that avenue once. I was getting closer on. I spoke to a couple of people some person had an Instagram that was sharing pictures of him, and I tried to chase that up through that, but he's not going to be an easy one to get hold of. But I'm happy to persevere that one, Martin. If you can get some, if we can get it, I will do it. I'm doing the next one I'm doing is a Speedway one. We've done 3 motocross ones, I think, on the trot. I'm doing a Speedway one next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. UK time, with former world champion and multi-British champion, etc., Mr. Gary Havelock, which would be really cool. And he's a proper character as well. So that's going to be good fun. Did do a Skype with him maybe a year and a half or so ago, but to get him on a live, all the Speedway fans will love that one for sure. I can message Stuart Coyle Lee, absolute legend, hard as nails. Yes, I've spoken to Stuart before, Martin. I did if you go into my Motocross and Spear Memories group, the group one, the one that's got like the over there, you'll see it says it like over the 10K thing when you go in it. If you go in there and you press search in the group, up on the top, I think it is somewhere. Well, it is on mine anyway. Let me know if it don't. But if you search it, you put Stuart Coyle in there, his Q&A with all 20 or 30 pictures and question Q&A is all written out by me on the post. I did one with Stuart Coyle. So he's on that, but yeah, it would be cool, wouldn't it, to do a live one of them. The British Championship riders, the ones with the GPs and that, and the 500s, wouldn't it? And I remember Coyley with the old wolf gear on and bow helmet on. They're always one of the most popular ones. The British Championship riders that we all remember. Still prepping the bikes, is he? That would be cool, wouldn't it? Maybe I should speak to Thorpe about that. Wonder if he would. Got some proper stories, I bet, eh? That'd be cool. Just trying to think of the GP riders I was trying to hook up with. There was, like I said, I did that one with Tim Geyser. That was scary. Because I didn't know to the last minute. I was obviously doing the photography at that first time I've been to Matley since Bubba and Everts, beginning of the 2000s, MXdN Nations. I went there last year, doing photography. And like I said, I was waiting. Roger Harvey, what a legend, did his interview. And obviously he was a team HRC boss. And he was hooking me up with, damn the COVID, but I was supposed to get like a HRC tour around the truck and everything, but we couldn't because of the COVID stuff. Even this year, still had a little bit of that going on where you couldn't go in the truck and everything. So still maybe hold out one day, hopefully getting the HRC thing. But yeah, it was pretty cool. He hooked me up with the HRC media guy, and we were talking for ages, and eventually got to go in actual Tim Geiser's own personal motorhome thing at Matterley last year. That was pretty cool. And yeah, like I was literally just there with my phone in his truck, and it was scary. I was like trying to sort out. I had this new mic plugged into the iPhone to put on him, and then I couldn't work out to get the camera to go back the other way, and then it was like turn the phone back round to him. He was looking at me, looking at, what's this guy doing? But he was cool, and he was a good laugh. And he was like, Lee, do you want me to hook you up a cold drink out of the fridge? And I was like, yeah, please. Doing that, shaking, doing that. You got a proper drink, have you, Tim? Oh, it was mental. I was literally sweating already from doing the camera, and then the next minute I was literally like in his cab, just me and him in his motorhome. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, once I get asking the questions, I chill out. Don't remember that one, Martin. Thanks, Peter. Hope you're good, buddy. My East Kent friend. He's got a very cool helmet, by the way. I'm sure I don't want to get that wrong, Peter. It is an open face AXO helmet, isn't it? And there's loads of proper mental signatures all over it. He even asked me to sign it. Why he wanted my clown signature on there, I don't know. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming on tonight. Really cool. It's one of them, I'll come off here, I can feel myself, my cheeks all red. Come off here and doing that. Woo! Ron Lechien, baby, yeah. Big Ronnie. God, I know Adam. That's not talking about Ronnie Lechien like that, by the way. We're talking about Big Ronnie off of, I'm sure you guys have seen it, the old lizard lick towing. Me and Adam like plenty of weird and wonderful things, including that. And he was like, yeah, you got Big Ronnie on tonight. And I was like, oh, yeah, we could say that. But yeah, I'll literally go in there, the missus, and I'll be like, yeah, woo, Lane, I got Ronnie Lechien. Yes, baby. It's one of them ones, like, hook that up. And she's like, who the hell is that guy? It's like, oh, wow. Don't do it. Should we watch Love Island? I'm like, oh, wow. Gonna go from Ron Lechien to watching Love Island. It's like a bit of a come down, that. Watching wannabe people trying to be famous, and then you just get like superstar Ron Lechien in front of you. You're going to go and watch these wallies do all that. Yes, bring on the throw, Mick. Martin, I'm going to chase that up after this. I'll tell you what, the promise is, Marty, straight on the email after this, doing that. Literally, I'll even go on there and show it and see it on here with Jeff Emig. I literally went on there. Where's the search thing gone? Oh, Ronnie's emailed me. Where's Ronnie? Thanks, bud. Have a great weekend. From Ronnie. Really? I'm just like a little kid in a sweet shop. Ron Lechien's emailed me. Thanks, bud. Have a great weekend. Like, no, Ronnie. Thank you. Thank the Lord. Thank you, my man. What are you thanking me for? You crazy man. Cool. Check this out, guys. The conundrum look. So I love this from you, Lane. This is quite good. So Laney's put, so she's trying to make out that she's trying to make out now that she knows some riders. So I'm getting married on the 15th of September. She's put, so Ricky Carmichael will do an interview only on the 15th of September. What would you do? Oh shit, this is awkward. I know what the right answer is. Obviously, I'd have to bin him off, babe, you know? Just bin him off. Just that, RC, can you, like, you know, get back to me tomorrow, bruv? I don't know. That's a real bad one. probably get it. Just make sure it's a time around it. Go and check the Egypt mill. Go and check them. Check the Wi-Fi. See if there's a bedroom nearby. I could take my laptop in. Uh-oh. Gun zones come out. Don't get us thrown off this live, Laney. Get into a hotel room, fully suited up, and make sure I've got plenty of time to get an hour or two in with RC. Then get down to the wedding like nothing's happened. Is that the right answer? Can't give me ones like that. I mean, oh, that would be a hard one. Yes, that would be cool. Oh, how can I get hold of Bob Hanna? Contacts have I got? I wonder if Jeff Stanton's got any contacts for Bob Hanna. Jeff's been pretty cool, to be fair. Even like just texting Jeff Stanton's enough for my lifetime. Not the fact he replies back. Still trying to hold him to that Stanton replica he was going to send me. Did speak to him about it, and he said that they've literally like sold out of him. So I was like, come on, buddy, a word's a word. He's like, you come onto my live and said, I can hook you out of the helmet. Of course, I'm like that. Screenshot. Stanton said he's going to send me a replica RI helmet. Screenshot that. Don't worry about that. Oh yeah, mate, that was another one. I was speaking to Adam about that in the week, weren't we, Adam? I don't know if Adam's still on here, but love to have got Jem Watley. I do all sorts of weird things to try and get interviews, but one time actually got me in trouble because I found out. Yeah, well, anyway, it's a long story, but if someone was divorced and stuff, I ended up getting oh yeah, he's a so and so and so and so and all that, and I was like, oh shit, I got into the right thing. But anyway, yeah, I did try and get hold of Jem Watley's missus at the time on Facebook, and she was like, oh, he's so old school, you know, he's not got any mod con phones or anything like that. And I was trying to, because I'd love to get Jem Watley on there, loved watching him as well in the 90s. Saw him win his 500, well, I think it was the Open Class British Championship then, wasn't it, at Foxhill on the, I think it was 91 on the Kawasaki. I think he had being a weirdo and all that. It's not just Ben that can be weird with stats and stuff and weird stuff and details, and Marty. But I remember Jem Watley had an answer kit on, I think, on his 91 Kawasaki 500, Action Workshops, I think it was. Probably with Julian and that. And he had one of them Bowery helmets, is it? The ones that, I think Lee's getting one of them as well, one of the old school ones, you know, with the old, looks like the old feather things going for the helmet. I think Watley was wearing that. I'd love to get him on. But definitely, I think that would be one of them ones where I've had a few of them. I did one with Billy Lyles. He went over his sister-in-laws, sorted out the Graham brothers. Got to try and get him someone else's house and in front of a laptop set up and all that sort of thing. Just plonk him in front of it and get the. You know, it would be nice to remember the rows that were lost and get stories from their closest friends and everything. That's a cool one, Lee. Yes, there's a good one. That would be a cool idea, mate. Chad Reed's children are doing great, learning to race motocross. Yes, been watching them on social medias, and I think I've seen a social. I don't know if it was on YouTube or his Instagram. I think Chad was on an 80 or something like that. 85s they are now, aren't they? 85s, big wheel, small wheel, whatever you call them. Looked like Chad was on one of their bikes, so that would look pretty fun. I was going to go back and check it, but I was getting all the stuff ready for Ron's interview, but. Even the fact of that, like, what a nice guy. Just he's already emailed me saying, thanks, bud, have a great weekend. He doesn't realise that I'm going to take that to bed with me tonight. Just little things like that they just do things like that, and I'm like, screenshot that life-saving moment again. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'd love, hopefully we can, hopefully you guys can help me out. We can share my YouTube channel out there and things like that, social medias. I'm sure there's a lot of people that still don't know about it. It would be a shame if a lot of people didn't get to see some of these interviews. Are crazy. Like, I don't see a live interview Ronnie Lechien anywhere, do you? I don't think, like you said, he doesn't do them. So many guys I've managed to get hold of literally just by chasing the hell out of them and, you know, in the nicest way possible. But yeah, it's just a matter of, like, you know, I've got my Facebook page. You can share them when I, you know, put the link up, the YouTube channel. you can share that out there, things like that. You know, it's free to subscribe on the YouTube channel. It's like, you know, yeah, hit the subscribe. I'll sound like the kids. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, subscribe. Maybe that's what I forget to do all the time. Subscribe, like my channel. If you guys, like you said, even in my Facebook group, like, it's amazing now, like it's over 10,000 odd or whatever it is. It's amazing. I'm buzzing with that. But like, you guys can, I think you can even invite people into that group. There's an invite button in there. That'd be amazing if you guys did it. Any Speedway Motocross fans, invite them in is always cool. Same on the Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. We've even got a TikTok now. Even got a TikTok for Motocross and Speedway members. I set it the other day, and I put loads of videos on there, loads of things that haven't even been posted up, you know, like videos from behind the scenes and good stuff in the pits and all sorts of videos from our 2 reunions that I've done. Motocross and Speedway Memories reunion in September last year was mental. Over 300 riders, and then we even topped it at Cullum in April, just gone. Nearly 400 riders, can't do any more than that. Crazy. 9 groups, plus legends. It was absolutely nuts. 33 MX guys did mental. We had a few red flags on Saturday, and everyone stopped whiskey throttling after that, and then we were all good. But crazy, unbelievable, all the stuff that's been going on. Super cool. But yeah, it'd be nice if some more people got subscribed on the YouTube. Like I said, it's free. Check out all the videos in your own time. You know, I save all these lives and record it so you can watch it in your own time. You know, chilling on holiday or a bit of spare time. And catch them up at another time. Yes, do follow all that. They're very cool, Chad. He's a good talker. I'd love to get him on one of these interviews. Trying to get another one I've been trying to get guys was Greg Albertine as well. My buddy, he come actually out to Cullum, Paul Cooper. He was going to ride, we got injured. 4 times British champion Paul Cooper, because he obviously come from South Africa and all that when he was younger and stuff, like Heron and Bradshaw and a few of the guys. He's got a few contacts. He said he's going to try and chase them up for me and help me out, try and get Greg Albertine. So obviously remember his mental battles with Everts over the years, and then he went obviously to America and won over there as well, and love to get him on. That'd be a cool one to get. So hopefully, there's me YouTube channel. Look. Check that out. Motocross and Speedway Memories. 179 videos on there. Look, 1.3k subscribers. Can I get that to 2,000? Be good and keep it going. Yo, there he is, my man that hooked me up with StreamYard. Never forget that. A lot of people out there, and people all try to outdo each other and do weird stuff. Not mentioning any names or anything, but people get weird and want to, you know, outdo each other and do all this weird stuff and whatever people do. I have to hook them up with my dad's saying that I've put out there that Pat designed me. So actually, I might even get it out on the. I think I saved it the other day. Please don't tell me where did I put that. Might have to share that with a few of them. Hey, a lot of people out there. have to share out there so they can take it in a bit better. Where's my albums gone? And yeah, where's it gone? There it is. Get there eventually. This is why I normally always say it about Dad at the end of each interview. Pat, who designed my Motocross and Speedway Memories design, look behind me there, my logo. He sorted this out as well at PS Design. You see that at the bottom there? He does the 90s Motocross that you all love on the Instagram and stuff. There he is. Look, check him out, Pat. He's sorted out for me. Look, my dad's Swindon Robbins. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. I have to send that to a few people out there. But Adam is certainly one of them guys. And he saw that I was doing my interviews, and he was doing the ones with Dave King. He didn't. He actually helped me out, and we've been great friends ever since. And it's actually coming to my wedding, and yeah. Don't speak to many guys personally and stuff, but Adam's definitely one of them with Kevin and stuff. So yeah, top guy Adam. Hopefully he'll do an official practice day maybe at his up at the Fox and Elms one day, because I know a lot of you guys would like to go and ride up there. Hopefully Adam will put on a practice day or something. I'll get out there, I'll do a camera day, take pictures of everyone up there practicing. Maybe Adam can, the amount that guy puts into the track all off his own back, he goes up there with his digger and all sorts he goes up there. He could do if, you should get a practice day up there, Adam. Try and, all the crazy fees you've been putting in for doing work out there. Get a practice day out there. There's loads of people that would like to go out there and have a practice, I'm sure. Yes, I'll check them out, Jonathan. Sorry, buddy, I was sorting out this interview, but I will check them Speedway videos out. Jonathan's been at the old Oxford Cheaters. That's been revamped and back in the Speedway. Hopefully we'll have that with Swin and Robin soon. But yeah, there's, like we've been talking about, there's loads of interviews to get on. But I've been babbling on now anyway, but had a good chat with you all. Hope I haven't bored you too much. But once again, Ron Lechien, hell yeah. Buzzing. Celebrating with the water and all that. But now I'm going to go and face the question from Laney again on the RC interview any minute now. Oh, I don't know how to get out of that one. Honesty is always the way forward, but sometimes that's not good either. So anyway, I will speak to you all soon. Okay, cool, mate. No worries. Give us a buzz. Yeah, I'll speak to you all soon. I haven't hooked up a motocross one for next week yet. I've definitely hooked up one with Gary Havelock, former World Speedway champion, for Tuesday night 8 p.m. because he wanted to watch the Swedish Speedway they have on the TV. So that'll be on 8 p.m. Tuesday UK time, and hopefully I could try and get a motocross one in like Wednesday or Thursday. Yes, mate. And thanks, Peter. Peter gave me a jacket of 3 times World Speedway champion. I'm trying to get on still, Peter. Danish Nicky Pedersen. He gave me a really cool Nicky Pedersen team jacket that I got here somewhere that you'll probably see me hang up behind me in some of the Speedway interviews. So yeah, that'd be really cool, Peter, buddy. That'd be awesome. I rode the Suzuki's in the 90s and weirdly ended up racing against that Julian Rawson that was on Team Suzuki back then as well. Right at the end of racing, I think it was the same year I won the BSMA finals 98. I think I raced against Julian Rawson at Foxhill, and we were both flat out. It was just me and him first and second. We were on our 125 2-strokes, and we beat all the 252 strokes. First time I'd ever raced against 250s. Our bikes were special 125s, let's say. But yeah, we were jumping over him and everything. And like I said, I just couldn't get to him all day. And like we didn't have a clue who it was. Didn't know it was Julian Rawson. He used to be a pro and all that, but didn't have a clue it was him. He was riding sort of like one of these Hondas. It wasn't that, it didn't look that great or anything, but it went like Holy Mary. Like I said, we were blowing the 250s away on the 125, say no more. But we were flat out, and I just couldn't quite get right near him. I was literally, a second or two back from him the whole day, and I couldn't quite get to him. And we didn't have a clue who he was, and I was literally like to Dad going, like, who the hell is that? And then we ended up finding out. I felt a lot better when I found out it was Julian Rawson. Let's put it this way. So I remember as a kid picking up DVRs, and he was in like Team Suzuki, and then I seen him on the Yamaha and all that, racing against all the Forbes, Nichols and all that. So I felt a lot better about that after that. Yeah, I could take that a lot better. I couldn't beat this guy. Who is he? Oh, it's Julian Rawson. Holy shit. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that'd be cool, mate. Right. No worries, buddy. Hopefully see you all soon. I'll keep you all in. Like I said, what I was supposed to say, share, like, share my posts and stuff would be cool. Invite people to my Facebook group would be cool as well. Yeah, like I said, get people subscribing on the YouTube channel. It's free, so just subscribe on there, watch the videos in your own time. I always record all of them as well, so you can get back to them. I know everyone's busy. So yeah, hopefully see you all soon. Like I said, Dad's saying, nice to be important to be nice. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. I got that right, yeah. Speak to you all soon. Ciao, Bella. Cheers, peeps. Thanks.